Bill Anderson. I've got the city mayor, Randy Carroll, the boss man, David Thomas, city council lady, Marilyn Ewing, former county commissioner, Brent Smith, and I've got the main man, Bo Gill, in with us tonight. And we're going to talk election tonight right here with you, but we're going to tell you real quick who's sponsoring the show tonight. It's Shelbyville Animal Hospital, 628 North Main Street, 931-684-8088 for all your small animal cat and dog needs. And the Winner's Circle, 603 Evans Street, with buck knives and very, very, very sharp objects. And lots of them in Ariat clothing. So stop in here.
Hey,
Got to get the
listen,
clothing
this
in here.
This is
Look at David.
Ariat
He's ready.
right here.
Ariat's,
We got a bunch of them.
Guys, we got election tonight.
it's election night. It's
historic.
here. It's
We
here.
got presidential. We've got local races.
We've got a lot going on. It's finally here. I mean, guys, what do y'all think? I mean, now that the day is here, what do y'all think about what's going to happen?
Well, let's start with the local races first because it's local.
I might say this, that those people are just worn out. That's when I talked to one of them the other day, and they said, I'll just be glad when it's over.
I understand.
Well, let me ask y'all this. What do y'all think about the tone of the local election?
I think it was very quiet. I mean, it wasn't a lot of hoopla, I guess you could say, that went on, but I know that all of the candidates worked very hard, I'm sure. I mean, that's just part of it. But the tone of it was very hard for me to determine. I don't know about anyone else.
I think that there were, it was kind of a tale of two tapes, special interest type candidates compared to grassroots, for the people candidates. That's the only differential as far as the public banter. You didn't hear a whole lot of that. It was pretty not. But there are some contested races there. I mean, out of the population that usually votes there, I mean, 600 maybe total, maybe.
Well, we got two districts in Josh Blevins, which is of course, he's a candidate, and he is up at the courthouse, and he's going to be sending us results as we get them. Josh's district, or his ward, actually, they expect anywhere from 1,050 to about 1,200 max.
Mhm.
Okay, and I think that ward that Gary Hale and Betsy Noel and J.D. Daniel are running for, what is that?
Ward 3. Ward 3.
That's about the same. That's a bigger ward, but they're expecting about the same.
Yeah, I
vote.
think you're going to have probably maximum turnout than you've had in years in these wards because of the competition that's involved.
What I wish we had seen was, and I said this before when I did the show with Josh David while you were in Florida. I miss when the radio station had meet the candidates, and you got to get up and explain.
Yeah.
They quit doing it.
Right.
Well, I tried.
You have tried to do it
I
here,
tried.
David Thomas,
I promise.
and you've always been fair.
I promise. I've
To
got
where
5
you could-
questions I asked.
That's it.
And the only one that would come on was Josh Blevins.
Yeah.
Right.
Why do you think that is, David?
Well, those questions are pretty easy.
What are they?
First of all, tell me a little bit about yourself. It's a biography thing.
Okay.
2, whatever possessed you to get into politics?
Fair
Okay.
question. Fair
All right.
question. Yeah.
3 is, what do you see our biggest challenges? Whatever, if it's for the county or for the city, whatever. Number 1, what is the one thing that you would change about this area, if it's city or county?
Mhm.
And the other is, what is your favorite thing about the city or county?
Pretty easy question.
Yeah.
Easy questions.
Yeah,
they're,
yeah,
they're,
they
they're
were.
softball, tee it
Yeah.
up. It gets them the opportunity to talk.
Yeah.
So either these people can't talk or they just didn't want to come on because.
And I've watched you do this for several elections. The same questions
Yeah.
every time.
That's exactly right. Or they were told not to talk. It could be
I
other ways.
think a lot of it, some of it was planned out. Their campaigns were planned out, and I wasn't a part of that plan.
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
you sit down with Josh,
Yes, I did.
and you did a great interview with him.
Yes.
He likes to talk and tell people what he's thinking and,
Mhm.
and where he stands, and he wants to listen more than he likes to talk.
Right.
Also,
And you got
I-
others in the same situation.
Now, I sent a personal invitation out to all of the candidates as well.
Right.
And I only had 2 to come forward. And it was J.D. Daniels and Josh Blevins.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
I kind of know how you feel. It's like, it makes you wonder, why wouldn't you want to do this, to promote yourself and to give the citizens what you are believing and how you're going to serve them?
Well, I would rather you come on the radio or come on here where people can actually hear you talk.
Mhm.
Is fill out some questionnaire that goes in a paper that goes out 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's more personal.
And it's good to see a face
Right.
when you with that name. Some people,
Yeah.
you just mention a name, they don't know who.
And it is
that might
risky.
be.
It is a risky proposal, but isn't that part of running for
But
an
no,
office?
it's
right?
not
Exactly.
risky.
Not
You
really.
have to
Not when you know what the questions
All right,
are.
All right. Well, we sat down. We did a couple of commercials, and then you did that very same interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
and we had so much participation in the last election,
Uh-huh.
and then this time it's just like
Well,
nothing.
and I think Bo said it earlier. I think we've got some players involved in this election that weren't involved in that last election, and it's more about image and it's more about policing that image and what they're saying. And maybe this group or these groups don't want the voters to see this person for maybe what they truly believe or what they stand for or whatever.
Their hired consultant told them this is what you're going to do, and that wasn't
Well,
on the checklist.
I'll say this for
Yeah.
everybody that run, because I'm friends with Betsy and I'm friends with Dee and have been for years. If they'd come on here, they would have done a wonderful job.
Yeah.
They would have been
Yeah.
outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a shame they didn't.
It
'Cause
comes
they
down
would
to
have done
this:
well.
whoever gets in there, are they gonna serve the people? Are they gonna be servants of the people? Or are they
Most
going to be
important question.
servants
Most
to the
important
people
question.
that fund their campaigns? And you've got to be, you're in there to be a servant. I mean, we got servants of the people in here now, and when you have to face the people, it's a different. When you're in that seat, I'm sure it's a different. It's a different ball game.
But think about it. You don't want to start out before you even
Right.
are elected giving the wrong answer, because some people think, okay, if you say it this way or give this
I agree.
answer,
Mhm.
I like that person. But
Mhm.
if you say it on the other side, so it's kind of a
Thus the risk.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
so-
Be yourself. Tell the truth. You ain't got nothing to worry about.
That's
I do it every
That's
week.
it. That's it. Yeah.
You can tell the same
I do
thing
it
every
every
time
week,
you're asked.
and I'll tell it every time.
And you'll either love me or hate me.
They're
Right?
going to get to know you one way or the other.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think the voters deserve to hear their story.
Sure.
Okay,
Right.
in some fashion.
Oh, yeah,
If they
sure.
do it by mailer, but just sitting there and talking about it
I agree.
and letting them tell their story
Mhm.
is so much better.
Mhm.
And I think since we've had the ability to do live streaming, that opportunity is there for everybody to do, even if they took their phone out and did it.
Mhm.
I mean, how many people you see doing that now? Very
That's
seldom.
right.
Brent, you did it.
Yeah.
You got your
Yeah.
phone out and you did it.
Mhm.
Because they get to hear your words. And I keep hearing this, and Bo and I have talked about this in the past. They talk about he's a great leader. We don't need leaders in that position. We need listeners, because listeners are representing the voters, and the voters and the residents of the city of Shelbyville need to have their voice heard, and you have to be a good listener. And I know, Marilyn, you listen, and that's important. Because at that
And-
point,
and
you
ask-
know what your
yeah.
constituents are thinking.
And ask questions, and not just kind of go along with it. I mean, if you don't know, you ask
Oh
questions.
yes.
And then have the backbone to stand up
Here we go.
when it's something that you know your constituents want. One thing I learned in office, and Bill, I know you know this, and I know both you guys know this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that stand with you, but they'll never say it publicly
It's true.
because they don't want to be labeled this or that because they own a business
Yeah.
or this.
Right.
But having
That's
that
right.
backbone
That's
to
true.
do the right thing.
That's
But
what
when
it
you
is.
go into something like this, the number one thing you are is you're a steward of taxpayer dollars.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
That's who you are.
That's
You're the
exactly right.
protector for the taxpayer when no one else is looking out for them. That's what you're supposed to do. And Paul Parker, a former mayor, used to say this to me all the time, and it stuck with me since I was 18 years old. Treat the money like it's your money,
Absolutely.
and you'll never have a problem, and
That's
you'll
right.
go to sleep every night.
That's exactly right. That's true.
Great man.
Changing gears back to the voter because they got skin in the game too. David, how many people early voted, percentage wise, out of the whole county?
We have between 28 and 29,000 registered voters.
Yes.
And Josh did the numbers on this. About 50%
Uh-huh.
voted early
Already
of our
voted.
registered voters. And we expected 10 more percent to vote today. So we expect a 60% turnout.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty good turnout,
That is
but
good
that's
turn.
it might come in just a hair under the 2020 election is
Right.
what it looks like.
Yeah.
So that's I thought just because of the presidential
The
election,
presidential.
we
That's
would have
absolutely-
a
What do you-
bigger
yeah.
turnout.
What do you think the weather had any effect?
Really,
Because
the
it
weather was great. I mean,
it did rain there for a while. I know maybe
Right.
some people do use that excuse.
But the thing is,
All the early
everybody
voting.
voted. They already voted.
Yeah.
Well, I think,
Well,
I
some
think
of them
election
did.
day may be better than everybody's thinking, because when I went at 9 o'clock and East Side, that was my district, I went at 9 o'clock to vote. You couldn't vote. And I've never seen this. It was out the cafeteria.
that's great.
Down
Wow.
the hall.
I
I had
would-
to come back at lunch and
I
vote.
think people.
I
were
would like to see
interested.
75%.
I think it's going to be over 60.
From the national standpoint and
Yeah.
from the local standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from our legislative standpoint.
Yeah, from
I
all,
think
all
everybody
across the
wanted to get
board,
out.
and I think that's good. That's what we want to
Oh,
see.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Here-
people.
here's a comment we got from Robert Dye. Whoever wins the early vote wins the election. If that percentage holds up, where we're going to have
Sure.
that big number, and
It's-
then only have a small amount show up today, then he's right.
Oh, yeah.
But in a close race,
In a close race.
Yeah.
5-10 votes makes a difference.
Oh,
We
yeah.
saw the
Right.
county commissioner race from District 1 come down to a
Just a
family.
few
Yeah,
votes.
One
it really
family
did.
elected,
Yeah.
you know, and that was
Yeah.
a situation.
That's right. That's right.
I think we had a sheriff's race years ago where it was 1 or 2 votes. Herman Sanders and maybe David Williams. That was
Yeah.
a long time ago.
That was a long
Crazy.
time
2
ago.
votes.
Yeah.
Your
Wow.
vote counts. Anybody that says
Wow.
is not telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Very
And on that
close.
note, did anybody have any friends or family that just said, "Oh, I'm not going to vote. It doesn't matter"? Did y'all?
I
Did
did.
y'all hear that?
No, I did hear that.
Well,
I
I
did
didn't-
hear.
I heard it
people
a
like
couple
that.
of times.
If they did, they didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Everybody I know, I talked to,
They
either
voted.
better say they were going to vote, or
Yeah.
I would box their ears.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But y'all, let's speak up. I'm getting a report that our sound changed and our mic is showing the full meter, so I don't know what's going on with that. Could be the connection, but we got a good connection, and we want to put out.
We will speak loudly and clearly.
Yeah,
Right.
Loudly.
Everybody can hear.
Loudly.
Right.
But guys, we've got.
Can we hit on the presidential thing real quick? It is a presidential
Yeah.
election before this starts.
I think this is the biggest thing of our century, probably.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah. How's it not?
I'm going to ask you this, Brent. Okay, we have Harris Trump.
Yep.
And this is relatively new, 90 days. She's been in the race. It was
Yep.
handed to her.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, and we have Trump doing his thing, doing his big campaign rallies and so forth. At the end of the day, when we come down and it's Christmas and we're waiting on a result, I mean, we finally get that result.
Possible.
Bottom line, which is the most positive outcome, not for the Republic, but
Yeah.
just for the moment in that case? Do you think if it comes out that Harris wins, that Trump voters are going to loot the country?
No, we
Or-
haven't seen that. We haven't seen that.
No.
We've seen the exact opposite of that. We know who loots and pillages, and it's not Republicans.
Well, I'm hoping that this time around that we don't have to experience it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, with the
Well-
technology that this country has, it's a shame we've got any paper ballots or any. There is
Yeah.
no reason this
Yeah.
election we shouldn't know by midnight.
Mhm.
There's no reason we shouldn't know.
And what have we heard all week? I'm not going to name the states because I might get one wrong, but several states have said, well, it's going to be, a day or two before we're going to have all the tallies. And,
Oh, yeah.
to your point, we spend all this money on these machines.
Yeah.
And if these machines are working properly, we should have the results immediately at 7 or 8 o'clock.
I don't.
tonight.
It doesn't. That shouldn't fly. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this election that we learned a lot from the 2020 election. I know that there were COVID and a lot of other things going on, but I hope that we can gain that trust back with that, because I think it's on the tipping edge of where we're going to trust it.
Well,
at
when
all.
you go to bed one way and
that-
you wake up
yeah.
the next day
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
changed,
Yeah.
that's where people got a little upset.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
the
yeah.
candidate. Let's look
Yeah.
at the candidate. I mean, they didn't even vote her in for the primary. They said the Democratic Party said, "Here you go. You're going
Well,
to have it."
you saw where Biden was losing the state of New York, and you knew he wasn't going to win. So now we
yeah.
can change the game and replace the candidate without the American people voting, to be honest with you, in a primary to put her there.
And that
That's a fundamental
that would
problem.
sting. That would sting.
Well,
that
it stings
and,
me a little bit.
and there's another big one here too. It's the elephant in the room about this election. There's a lot of people in this country that aren't citizens that are being allowed to vote. And how is that fair? How is that fair?
It's not. I mean, fundamentally, there should be,
That's
not able to vote.
constitutional. I
It's-
mean,
yeah.
it's
Yes, absolutely.
constitutional.
Yeah.
If you go to the Federal Election Commission, on their front page,
Yeah.
to vote in the United States, you have to be a citizen.
It's
And
why-
California just opened the gate up
It's
to
why
anybody.
it's almost a hard question to answer because it's so easy to answer. It's like
Yeah.
that. You're not a citizen now. You can become a citizen and then vote. We
Right.
would love to have that, but I mean, if you're illegal and you're not part of the system, then I mean, I think that it's obviously shouldn't be counted. But unfortunately, we do hear reports of that happening.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's a comment,
Yeah.
and I've got to take issue with this.
Yeah.
How in the world can legal any immigrants vote for Trump when he hates them all? Donald Trump does not hate immigrants.
Yeah, it's
He
crazy.
thinks that it's against the law,
It's
which it
against the law.
is,
That's all.
to come in illegally.
Yes.
If you come in illegally, he said last night in his rally, we welcome everybody that comes legally.
yeah.
They're
Let me ask y'all a
they're
question right here.
confusing-
So that's
Who's
not correct.
employed more of them over the last 30 years, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? And I promise you, Mr. Trump has employed a whole bunch
Yeah.
of them.
They're confusing the law over
Right.
over
Well, you have
color or
immigrants
something.
and you have illegal aliens.
Right.
There's
One
a
or the
difference.
two.
That's
There's a
right.
huge difference.
That's right.
but that's become such a taboo, to say.
Oh, you
that, but
can't
it
say
is what
illegal
it is.
alien. I mean, you're like
the
a
word
racist
illegal
when you say that.
alien
I
has
mean,
been changed to the word refugee.
Mm.
And that was a sacred cow word for a while. I remember it just a few years
Right.
ago.
Mhm.
But it's just a big problem, and I think that if we're going to be a country with borders and laws, then we need to be a country with borders and laws. Hey, if we're an open society here and anybody can come or whatever, then we need to redo the whole shebang.
But I
Yeah,
thought a
I agree.
refugee is a person maybe settling in an area where that particular area or country has just been destroyed.
Yeah, and I
Right.
think
For
that's
one
where
reason, isn't
Right.
isn't
But
that
we've
So
turned,
they've
we
redefined
changed
it.
that,
So-
redefined the
so-
term.
Yeah,
so-
we've
Yeah.
redefined
Point.
some of that.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
We've-
Well,
right.
guys, we
we've
can dive
reframed it.
into this real deep and
Oh, we-
talk all night
yeah.
long. And,
Oh, yeah.
and,
Hit the
and-
scuba
and-
gear
But
out.
can I say one thing about
Yeah.
immigrants? So, if it wasn't for them, who's going to do a lot of the work that they do? And they do a
Hey,
lot of
we
things
have a
that the rest
need.
of us won't do.
We have
That's
a
a fact.
need for legal immigration. In
We
this
sure
country.
do.
We have a
We
need.
do. That's right.
But we have a bigger need for a border.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, that's just
Yeah.
common sense.
And why is it okay for some countries to say, okay, look, to immigrate, like if any of us wanted to move to, I don't know, Switzerland, well, guess what? I mean,
we got to go through a process.
you have to
That's
have about
right.
$100,000 cash you're bringing to the table, a
Yeah.
business you're bringing to the table, a certain amount of education you're bringing to the table. You have to be an asset to the country.
You're
How dare they?
Well,
How dare they?
How dare they do that?
This is a big topic for the election.
Yeah.
And I think Trump answers that question. But the next thing, or actually probably the biggest thing, is the economy, the cost, inflation, and the cost of food.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something.
And that's what
Yeah.
people used to vote was their wallets.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to drink mini cokes now.
Well, this
Yeah.
mini Coke has doubled in price in the last 3 years.
Shrinkflation.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same price as the big ones. Now
Right.
just a
But
little
we've all
smaller.
felt that. I
Yeah.
think that's no surprise to anybody. I just hope that this election will and can turn this around. I have high hopes, but
The last time we saw inflation like this, Jimmy Carter was in office
Yes,
back in
that's right.
1976.
I don't
That's
think
right.
it was this bad, though.
Well, it was really
Well, the
it was-
interest rates were
The interest
rates-
crazy. But
But the-
otherwise, I
And
I'm
why
not sure.
aren't the interest rates, Mayor, out of sight? Because now the federal government's able to control
That's
that.
right. That's right.
Because to
they're
be honest with
squashing
you,
them.
you real estate guys
Yeah.
don't want to hear it. The rates probably should be
Yeah.
13, 14% right now.
I
Which
don't
would
care.
shut
I'm
it
a
all
praiser.
Well, what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
but we used to not be able to. The Fed was separate from the federal government.
Yeah.
That changed
Yeah.
here a while back.
Yeah.
So and the other reason you're artificially doing this is Social Security. Because if rates went up like they did on
All right,
Florida,
guys, we
Social
got
Security
some
comes
stuff.
the other way.
We got some
Yeah, it's
stuff.
fine.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Okay, we have City Council Ward 1. Mr. Henry Feldhouse is probably going to win that.
Well, maybe so.
All right, he is uncontested. Okay, so we have City Council Ward 3, J.D. Daniel. We have 169. I'm trying to figure out what this
Wait, David, is this final or is
No,
this
this is early voting.
Early voting.
169.
Okay.
Gary Hale, 242. And Betsy Noel, 372. And in a write-in, 1. Okay. Ward 5, Josh Blevins, 362. Stephanie Isaacs, 136. And D. McCullough, 303. So we have a tight race there.
Well, that is
and-
tight.
Wow.
And we
It is,
have
uh-huh.
a Betsy
And
Noel,
we didn't see that.
Gary Hale.
We didn't see that coming with
Okay.
Isaacs.
And then we have Alderman Town of Wartrace, Thomas E. Batchelor, 30% of the vote, 108. Benjamin Cataldo, 130. Matthew Evans, 100. And then we had some write-ins with 10 and 3, and I can't see what's off the chart there. But right now, guys, it looks like the money didn't pay off.
Well, and there's the way the early
Next-
voted paid off. It didn't. But we've still got this. We've
Yeah,
got this
yeah,
election.
That's
day
close
left.
enough. You need to wait and see what comes in.
Yeah.
If you were looking for dominance, no, it didn't create
Yeah.
dominance.
And
Do we have any numbers on any of the other
No one
races,
can go
like
to sleep
president
right
or
now.
anything
This,
like
this
that?
is all
No,
we've
no.
got so far,
Okay.
and I'm sure he will give us updates real quick here.
And
you're getting this too, right?
So Isaac's
on
being
your
an
phone.
incumbent, it's kind of shocking. She's at 136. I thought that she was going to make a bigger run here. I really did.
Yeah, I thought so too. You know, usually the incumbent does a little bit, but I think the real race was between Josh
Okay.
Blevins and McCullough there.
Okay. Henry Feldhouse has got 370 votes
Okay.
in his ward, which he was uncontested.
That's
but those are courtesy votes.
Courtesy vote. Yeah.
I would like to have Bill elaborate. Why did you think that Isaacs would have more votes?
Because
Leave
she's
the incumbent. Leave
she's
that
the
out.
incumbent, and
Leave
I
that
thought that possibly Josh and Bubba D were going to split their vote.
There you go. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And give her
Yeah.
because she ran a strong race last time against an incumbent and got in there.
She had a very good issue to run on that was kind of new.
Right.
And
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
really
yeah.
excited on it.
Right.
exactly
And she's
right.
in
I
that
think that
Bedford
kinda
Listening
died.
Project and all that stuff.
It kind of
and-
lost some momentum, and then I think the momentum just went to the other two.
But
candidates.
that was why I thought you see someone splitting the vote from
Yeah.
to someone on the right.
Here-
one on the
here's
left.
another comment that we had about where Trump hates them all. Same person comes back and says, back at you guys. Yes, Trump does hate them all. His wife and his family are immigrants. How they all got here is a question I would like to have answered. I don't know what she's talking about. We're going to move on from
We're
that.
sorry.
But
We're
just
sorry.
to point
Wrong-
that out,
wrong
I don't
channel.
even know what that is. Call those numbers out again. Okay. What do you got over there? Can you give them
All
to
right,
us
Josh
again?
Blevins 362, Bubba D McCullough 303, Stephanie Isaacs 136.
That's Ward 5.
That's
in
Ward
Shelbyville.
5 in Shelbyville. And then you got Betsy Warren Noel, Jim Warren's daughter 372, the incumbent Gary Hale 242, and Mr. Daniels with 169.
Also, now
Ward
we've got
yeah.
presidential race.
All right.
Yep.
Trump 11,488 votes to Harris's 2990.
Oh, come on. Let's not even
And
talk
then
about
we've got
that.
the Senate.
That's so early.
Marsha Blackburn
Early.
11,078.
You said 11,000 votes?
And
Yeah.
Johnson 2,900.
This is for Bedford County.
Oh,
Right.
I thought
Yeah.
you were
Bedford
talking
County.
national.
Bedford County.
No way.
I
did
want to
Miss
see
Blackburn-
this. I want to see the percentage. You know,
It
how
was
it
about
plays
the
out.
same.
David,
It
could you
mirrored
repeat
almost
those
the Trump
numbers,
deal.
please?
11,488, 2990.
and then
Now,
on
I'm
Black-
sure all these are early votes.
and
Yeah.
Blackburn, yeah, this is early
Miss
vote.
Blackburn is almost the same as the
11,078,
president. Yeah, almost the same.
and then Johnson
Yeah.
2,914.
Okay.
It's almost the same.
Yeah, it
Deja-
is. It
Deja-
is.
Yeah, that
Lay.
would, yeah, that
Deja Lay, 10,545.
something about
Broderick, 2497. Again, this is Bedford County only.
Yes, and early
Let me see
voting.
those numbers.
Early
I'm
voting.
confused,
Beverly
so
County.
I'm not. Let
Thank
me
you,
see.
Scott
Special
Desjardins, for sticking with us. He's a close personal friend of mine. We've been friends for a long time. I talk to him quite often, and congratulations to you, Scott Desjardins. You are a true American, my friend.
That's right. Congratulations, Scott.
that is Bedford County only though, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that's the way it's going to hold out everywhere else.
Oh, yeah.
And there'll be some outlier counties. Davidson County usually is one of them. Shelby, but I'd say predominantly it'll
Yeah.
be.
I was
that
talking to
side.
Scott, and I never
Yeah.
will forget. Was it Hillary Clinton or who was it? And it was where he undressed. Who was it? He undressed Congress, and Scott did it over. It was the Clinton Gate or whatever it was, and he let the director of the CIA or whoever it was have it. And I thought, "That's my boy." And Scott just let it rip. Scott Desjardins is good people. If y'all don't
Yeah,
know him,
he is a good
a
guy.
wonderful
Yeah,
guy.
I've met him, yeah.
And anytime he's been asked to come back and help Shelbyville
Yeah.
or Bedford
Oh,
County,
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
right here to
When
do
you-
it.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Robert Dye, congratulations are a little early yet. That is early voting only.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will have today's count will be coming in precinct at a time, Robert, and everybody out there listening.
Yes.
So we will call
Especially
those as
Ward
we get
5.
them.
That's still too close,
Oh,
guys.
it's way too
Way
close.
too close.
It is. Yeah.
There's especially with the turnout we've heard around today, it is. Reeves, we've got Reeves in. You got 10,739 against Smith 2,411. It's about the same percentage right
Okay.
there.
All right.
Anything on Marsh yet?
Nothing on Marsh. I haven't received anything on Marsh yet.
I'm sure it's going to be about the same too.
Which he he wasn't contested.
Oh,
Was,
no.
was Marsh?
I think it was just
No,
courtesy
Mr.
votes, I
Reeves,
believe.
Shane Reeves also. We haven't got any numbers on him yet. have
Yeah,
we?
it was 10,739
Okay.
and
Okay. Good.
2411.
Good. Good.
Do we know the number of residents there in Ward 1? 370 complimentary votes, but we normally have an average of what, 1,000?
No,
At
not
least
that. That's
in each
kind of my
ward?
district, but it's the city
Okay,
end of it, and
okay.
it just doesn't.
I
go
was
that
thinking
way.
in the last race we were around 400 or 500
That's
in each ward.
Well, then you think
Something like that right
Yeah,
there.
it's about average.
Because I think for the mayor's race, I got like 1,400, 1,300, 1,400 and
Okay.
then 900
Yeah,
for
but
the
it wasn't
second,
during
and
the
700.
it wasn't
Well,
during the
it's
presidential.
all done by
That's exactly,
population
that's exactly
squats,
right.
Doug.
Yeah,
It's
that makes a
how
big
people
difference.
come out.
Makes a big
That's
difference.
Well, yeah, and then on the complimentary votes, not everybody does that. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you know, some people do, and some people don't. I'd say you're gonna lose.
Well, Henry will tell you,
Peggy
we're gonna be
Hartline.
lower.
I don't know who Peggy Hartline is, but she's commenting about this. You should know Trump's wife is an immigrant. Yes, she is, and she legally
Did
got.
we-
I
Did we
don't
say
even
anything
know.
about
No,
anybody's
no.
wife? I mean, I don't know where she's coming
All
from.
right, but
Let's,
she's trying to say that Trump hates all immigrants. I don't think he does if he married one.
Yeah, I know it.
I'm just saying. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We
next
gotta-
next subject. So I
Yeah.
got a question.
Wow.
We got two of our city folks here, and
Yes.
we're going to get some new people in on the
Yes.
council. What are some things, not to put you both on the spot, but what are some things that you'd like to work on here on the second half of your term, and I guess the second half of yours? Like, what are the top 2 or 3 things you want to see improve in the city of Shelbyville?
Wow.
You want to go first?
On the spot for both
I
y'all.
know.
Yeah, the first thing I want to get is the flood pumps. We've got those ordered and designed, and so we will replace the 3 flood pumps that are 70 years old. And so this city, if we got a 19-inch rain or 30-inch rain like they got in North Carolina, we would have been in with problems.
I think that's
So
wise.
we've
Me
got
too.
those coming, and MTSU, the campus, moving to the Shelbyville Airport. Scott Desjardins just helped us receive a $6 million grant
Nice.
so that we could upgrade our airport a little bit.
What all will that include? You know.
That will be like buildings, runway. We're going to have like where you can pull off and one plane go by the other and such things as that. Taxiway and things like that. I guess the next thing would be getting the Duxon plant operational. We're still in the inspection process, and we've still got a lot of things to check off before we can let that company.
You really want to do that?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm with you.
we
We
have.
want a bunch of jobs out there.
Yeah,
That's what we want.
we're
And it ain't gonna bring any-
moving forward with it, but we've got to get that either approved or disapproved. But right now, we're moving forward
How
and
far
try to
along
get it
is?
approved.
How much longer do you think? It's on the state's table now, right?
That's most of it, but we've still got some things in the city, and so it'll probably be another 3 or 4 months, I would think, before they get total occupancy.
Yeah.
But that changes kind of on a weekly basis.
Yes, it
If
does.
something's not passed, we're not going to pass it unless it's
Good.
correct.
Good. That's
And
good.
thank you all for that.
Well,
Yeah,
appreciate that.
And Mayor, just to if I
Yeah.
could there, how many jobs are we expecting for Bedford County citizens out there at Duxan?
Well, Duxon had told us at one time, I think maybe 101, and then it went up to 160.
Oh.
And right now we're not counting the construction people, but as far as people in the operation, they're probably 30 or 40 people is all we've got right now.
Oh,
That's all
And
you're
they're
gonna get.
probably most of them are from South Korea or
Robots.
from.
well, I didn't
from
mean
the
to put you on the
company
spot. I had no
That's
idea, but I
okay.
appreciate
But
your
I
honesty.
will say, and I've
Yeah.
said this on this show before we've
Yeah.
done, it's no different than the same type plant in Beaver Dam, Kentucky
Mhm.
that never employed over 21 people.
You know,
They all-
You and I have talked about this before when you
All
were on
right.
the commission.
All right.
A lot of
Special
robotics.
message
A
from
lot of robotics
Tad-
and not jobs.
Tad Craig comes in, says Bill Anderson for president 2020.
Tad Craig.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, mercy.
Yeah.
Marilyn,
Well,
you can
cuz-
talk about that what you think was
Well, I
most
ditto
important.
everything the mayor has said because those are very prevalent. They are just legitimate things that we have got to address. Now,
Right.
I want to say also, I'll be happy to work with anyone that comes in new on the council.
Oh, absolutely.
If we have
Yeah,
changes-
we've got to
Sure,
work together.
And
Yeah.
working together is very important and
Excellent.
such, and so many things on our plate that is huge.
Oh, we do.
That our agendas are getting longer and longer, and in that type of thing. We're looking at, of course, everybody deals with the streets,
Mm.
potholes. We
Mm.
put a little more money in the paving project
Mm.
this budget. So I mean, all of these things that are out there, the flood pumps. Number one,
Yeah,
we've got so
infrastructure
much.
is at number 4 or 5 on
Oh,
mine. I mean, just
yeah.
making sure that the water, sewer, all of the things that the
Yeah.
people are going to need on a daily basis, we've got to make sure that they're in good shape.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
taking care of
absolutely.
that existing infrastructure, yet dealing
Absolutely.
with the growing population we have and planning
And
for that.
traffic's that problem.
Yeah.
on the
Guys,
growth of
I
it.
want to bring out
Yeah.
something too that's not related to the city of Shelbyville, but is related to tonight's election, and that's our War Trace alderman. They've got a
Oh,
water
yeah.
issue
Oh,
over there to
oh,
deal
yeah.
with.
Yeah, they
that's
do.
It's terrible.
beyond.
You know, it's enlightening and I talked to the Mr. Bassler that's there, and he actually has some ideas to bring to the table. I think the can's gotten kicked down so long. I mean, it's been going on since I've been I don't know,
You're right.
forever.
Yeah.
That I think, that there may be some hope where we can get, maybe the state or somebody to come in
What
there.
about the
Didn't we
county?
get
What
state
about the
money?
county?
Didn't we get some good state money?
we
Didn't
got
Shane-
$600,000.
I don't think it was spent. I don't think that
It hadn't been spent.
It hadn't been spent.
Why hasn't it been spent?
That's a topic for
Mr.
about
Biden.
a 3-hour
Yeah.
time slot.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
there's some commissioners that can talk to you about that. But can't the county help an outlier city?
You would
like
think
this?
so.
It's in the county. For
You would
crying
think
out
so.
loud.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
still have mornings where, and I talked to Mr. Bachelor where
Yeah.
you don't have water that morning.
That's right.
Oh.
And that's just
Unbelievable.
part of it in 2024. And I think that's one of the reasons why he, wanted to serve it, and he saw maybe something he can fix there. And I think it'd be a good choice. I'm glad he's putting in
Wasn't
that
there a
time.
way to maybe go over to Tullahoma and bring the water in or something? That was what I was being told from that Normandy plant, the water plant that serves Tullahoma right there where they get their water.
Mhm.
I was thinking that's what
Yeah.
we were thinking
Yeah.
then.
Yeah, I think so. And then not to mention that I think they have a daily 50% loss. I mean, that's
Yeah,
how bad
That's
it
where
is.
that's where the
Hey guys,
problem-
I'm gonna bring
the
this up
leaks
too
and
while we're
things.
talking about water, not just
Yeah.
War Trace. We've got a water problem around here in general.
Oh yeah.
We can either sit here and put our head in the sand or not.
Yeah.
But we can't keep drawing out of the Duck River the way we're drawing,
No.
folks.
That's exactly right. And
We
TDEC has
can't.
not given us the Sheffield Power, Water, and Sewer has not given us what we'd asked for.
Or
We have not
Bedford
gotten that
Utility on
approval yet.
top of it. And
Now,
you've got-
Bedford County Utility has signed one, is my understanding. But if you get into a situation downriver from us, if it goes below a certain point, then they'll cut them in half, and we can't afford to do that.
all
in
right,
Shelbyville.
everybody below us from Marshall
Yeah.
County, Chapel Hill is
Oh,
on
yeah.
restriction.
Oh yeah.
And we're just blowing and going, guys.
Okay,
Yes.
I got a question for you, Mr. Mayor. You'll know this. Tyson draws 2 million gallons a day,
Yes, sir.
but they also pump 2 million treated water back into the river.
That's exactly right.
That is a net zero.
Right.
But they still use the 2 million withdrawal
Right.
against our totals. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That hurts us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not counting what they
Yeah.
return to the river.
But if
That's
y'all saw
correct.
the study, if we were to drop this river by 2 inches, and that's what people talked about this.
Mhm.
I live on the river, lived it on my whole life. There's a lot of places, Bo, and you know what I'm saying is right, are so shallow. You drop it 2 inches,
Yeah.
it ain't flowing no more,
Yeah.
folks.
And it ain't, and
We
then
need
those
to be
muscles
thinking
and
that-
those muscles that clean the river,
Yep.
those natural
right.
cleansers of our
Yeah.
river.
Most importantly,
I'm not the-
environmentally speaking, it's worth saving.
Yeah.
It
Well, I'm
is
not-
the
yeah.
lifeblood of this
Absolutely.
Yeah,
county.
I'm not an environmental crazy, but I do have common sense, and that is common sense.
Since you
Well,
got a
that's
county
called
commissioner here,
conservation.
That's right.
you've got a city councilman and a city mayor. Here's my question and challenge to both of us together. Why can we not sit down with TVA and talk about this? Normandy is not just flood control, it's your drinking water.
That's exactly right.
Instead of dropping it 20 feet in the winter and wasting all that water and putting you in a critical position,
And killing the fishing.
well, you do that too, but leave it 4 or 5 feet. It's not flood control. It's
That's
your
right.
livelihood. You
Yeah.
got to have water.
That's exactly
I
right.
think it would be nice if we could all sit down, maybe have Scott Desjardins, Pat Morris,
Yeah.
sit with TVA and say, hey guys, man, it ain't about flood control anymore. Can y'all quit dropping it in the winter? Because 2007, what happened was they dropped it 20 feet, if y'all
Oh, yeah.
remember.
Yep.
You didn't get the spring rains, and the lake nearly went
Yep.
dry.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
that
used
can
to live
happen
in
again.
Normandy. I live right next to the
You
lake
did
at
live
Valley
there.
View Estates, and I know exactly what
But
you're
isn't that
talking about.
something we could
But
all sit down with somebody?
TBA is in the picture. I mean, they're TDEC and TBA and all of these folks are working together. Of course, War Trace gets their water in Normandy. We used to get Cascade Spring water,
Right.
and then they changed to Tullahoma. But the problem in War Trace is the losses.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
The
When you're losing
the
half your
infrastructure
water.
you got there, you can pump as much water as you want,
Sure.
but if
Yeah.
it's
And you're
And
losing
that, and that almost needs that's almost a Pat Marsh and
Oh, it is.
you
Yeah.
know
Yes.
that's got to go to the top.
Gotta
That has
get-
to get on,
gotta
on
come
the
in and
governor's
get that.
desk.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
exactly.
Well, I will say this about
Yeah.
Woods Reservoir. It's a Corps of Engineers lake.
Yes.
They never deviate over 2 feet.
Right.
And they don't seem to have a flood problem between Woods and
And
Winchester.
I agree with you about that dropping it that much.
Speaking
That's
of
too
Pat,
much.
speaking of Pat Marr, sorry to interrupt you, but he did. There is a number, a Bedford County number on the early voting was 12,214 for state rep Pat
Good for
Marr.
Pat.
I think you might pull that out.
He might
He
do
might.
that.
Yeah. I sure hope so.
If he don't, we got trouble.
Yeah.
We got some tampering going on with the voting. I got a county commissioner that might call in and talk about the water issue, but I don't know if he's got my message or is he in a position to do that. He's helped with the War Trace water problem. But if I'm the governor of the state of Tennessee and I find a place in the state that I'm governor of
Yeah.
that don't have running water, That's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's right. Those
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
commissioners are they're involved in that. I think the wheels are churning. They're just ready for the right things to go. I think though that the right people in place could fix this problem.
And we need to look at the money that we're getting for some of the new technology and look at going back and taking care of these infrastructure problems that we have.
Yeah.
I know I worked for Duck River Electric for over 30 something years, and electricity was a staple for life.
Mhm.
And water is the same thing.
Yeah.
And sewer in the city of Shelbyville.
Yeah.
Well,
So if you cut off any of those
Yeah.
things like that, you're affecting their day-to-day life.
Absolutely.
and this
And
is
if
what
you're
drives me crazy, guys. Locally, state, and nationally, we can send billions to Ukraine. We can send billions to Israel, but we cannot fix water in our own county. I'm so sick of these wars.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of these foreign interests stealing our hard-earned money. We need to keep our money here and help our people. And you know what? When our people are helped and taken care of, then if there's some cream left at the top, we'll be happy to share. But we need to take care of Americans first.
I
Right.
agree
But
with
back
that
to what the
100%.
mayor was saying,
That's it.
infrastructure is the key. If we're going to sit here and keep building high density housing, bringing this stuff in here,
No,
you have to have the infrastructure,
You
as
gotta
you're
have
saying, in place
gotta have it.
to accommodate the people.
Yeah.
Just the
Exactly.
basics. Yeah.
So if we have other members to join our council and the existing members at our council table,
No.
we work together to control that and thinking, infrastructure, we have to have it to accommodate. So it's carefully.
Yes.
There's only so many
Constructive.
resources.
And
Yeah.
we've had to put some
Yeah.
large developments.
Yeah.
Shelbyville is a hub right now. We're getting new developers coming every day and wanting to build and this and that. But our traffic patterns, we're doing traffic studies
Yep.
on everything, and the water and the Shelby Power Water and Sewer. We're working with them. If it's not there, we can't approve it.
Yep.
We can't approve it
That's
until
right.
that
Yeah,
infrastructure.
as you
We know we
should.
can
As you
handle it,
should
approve it.
and we're not going to
And
take
you've got to
away.
think of this. If you're bringing all these people in, where are they going to work at,
Right.
folks?
That's right.
There aren't
here.
any jobs.
Yeah.
So then you're bringing in kids that we have to educate. Next thing you know, we're building another $40 million school.
Right. Right.
And we've
That's
all
true.
in it together.
Yeah.
We've got to figure out a way we can grow.
Yeah.
We just don't have to explode.
It's the chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
Yes.
To have the jobs, you got to have the workforce
Sure.
Mhm.
first
Right.
for somebody to come.
Right.
Okay, so the TCAT school to me is
Huge.
good development.
Best thing we ever
Excellent.
did.
Best
Wonderful.
thing,
Yeah.
thing that the
One of the
state could
best
have
things
done.
done, right?
All right, that's a positive that we can build on. Hopefully, we can get the workforce built up. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a person that's 40, 30
Absolutely.
years old, 50.
50,
Go out there
yeah.
and get a new trade.
That's right.
And then guess what? Open a business here in Shelbyville.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe talk to the
Employ
mayor and the
some people.
commissioners, and maybe there's a
Yeah.
tax break involved, and then there you
But
go.
it would be nice if you brought a business in with all this stuff we did out here
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
employed 200 people, not 21 people.
wait a
Amen,
minute,
brother.
It was a robot plant.
That's right.
That the only penalty, and I'm going to go back to this,
No,
the
that's
only
a-
penalty to
that's
these
a fact.
people is, and I remember a certain commissioner saying this to me.
That's what it is.
Here's what it was said to me. They'll have to pay a penalty. You know what the penalty is if they don't create the 100-something jobs?
Mm.
They pay their property taxes.
Yeah.
You should have been paying your property taxes from day one, folks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. I'm not keep saying that. I just want to say one thing. But we were talking about it before the show began, and we all here, we may not look like it, but we all come from different political
Sure.
backgrounds.
Sure.
We have different opinions, and I think this is such a great example of a group of people sitting down, and I can't think of one thing that we've disagreed on tonight, and we're talking about all the big subjects, and it just goes to show you that if you put some decent people in a room together, you can come up with solutions. It doesn't have
right.
to be so contentious all the
Yeah.
time.
The key is
Amen.
the agenda is not about any one of us.
No.
It's about our community.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's the
it.
agenda.
That's right.
It's simple.
That's exactly
It's
right.
almost too simple.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just common sense.
It's common sense.
But
just
we are
forward
from the
sense.
community, and we are seeing eye to eye on everything the mayor's talking about,
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
everything that we're discussing tonight.
Love it.
And even if we don't see eye to eye, we would be civil.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
And
you
there's
got.
something
Mayor
to
to
say
Ross,
for that.
you don't have his number. He
And-
might can
and-
give you an update on that. Mayor Ross and what, right?
the
Have
the
you got his
respect
number?
factor,
Well, no,
of just your fellow human being, of recognizing their needs, that let them recognize yours, and then we've got to work together somehow.
Oh,
You
yeah,
got to
absolutely.
please your
Yeah.
people, and it's tough to do, but you can't set up that wall. You set up that wall, nothing gets done.
No.
I'm very curious. I'm watching what's on the ballot in Davidson County, the transportation
Mm.
project, because it's a mess.
Yeah.
You know, I get
Oh,
real nervous when I'm going to Nashville.
Mhm.
Yeah, who
So
doesn't?
I'm curious as to how that's going to come out. But when you bring it down to Shelbyville, Tennessee, and the growth that we're going through and everything, there's a lot more traffic.
Oh yeah, and you
And-
got to look years in the future.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some studies.
Especially out 41A out here, guys.
Oh,
Out here,
oh,
I know, Mayor, you live
the
out there.
bypass, we got to have the bypass.
That's gonna
I've
be
got
the
people
new,
telling me it takes 20 minutes
Oh,
to turn
boy.
out of the roads now
Yeah.
without the new stuff.
Yeah.
and wearing
20
those
minutes.
roads out.
I got a
Yeah.
comment. I
Yeah.
won't throw this out here. And we hear this type stuff all the time when we go live and talk about the city or the county and the needs we have. Bedford County has grown a lot. We need more grocery stores. We only have 4 grocery stores for the whole county. And I think people get confused because politicians a lot of time take credit for every business that comes to town.
That's
They
right.
do.
So immediately they want to talk. People go to the government and want the grocery
They.
store. It takes somebody willing to invest a lot of money, whether it be a
Exactly.
corporation
Gotta
or
make
an
the profit.
individual
Yeah.
or a family or
It's
whatever.
people, real
It's
people.
people.
It's real
investing
people
money.
making real money,
Yeah.
All right,
so real
here's-
companies can invest in our
Here's
county.
when another
Taking real
grocery
risks.
store comes.
Right.
When somebody sees that it would be a money making, profitable business and they can get the workforce and they can get everything. Now, government's job is to work with them and stay out of the way.
Yeah.
Now, in
Now,
my
just
opinion,
do what we need to do.
That's
Dollar
it.
General missed a golden opportunity down here on the end of Madison Street by not putting in a Dollar General grocery store versus the regular Dollar General. Because I live on that end of town. A lot of people would have used it as a grocery
Yeah,
store and you're
yeah.
already building it.
Yeah, and Ms. Is it Mr. Ray or Ms. Ray?
I think it's Ms. Ray.
Okay, we've got some in the works. Let's just say that.
But it's not y'all doing it.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
that's it.
It's
That's-
somebody wants to
here's-
come
and he
into
People that
town.
own people
Yeah.
that own the property and all
Right.
those things. In the city, we've got to prepare the roadways
Right.
to get to them,
Right.
exits and entrances and all those kind of
Yeah,
things,
it's
and
the
not
common-
put a burden on
I
the
think
other
it's a
folks.
common misconception of they need to do this, and they think that
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
government
Right.
puts in these
Not
these,
picking on,
these,
on
these
Pat.
places.
Right.
No, I'm
Not-
just
not
saying
picking-
the
yeah.
general that this is
Yeah.
what, and
Yeah.
and you hear that a lot, and they is us.
Well,
It's not-
and you don't have to drive far to see what really good looks like. Go to Tullahoma, not
Absolutely,
Murfreesboro, 'cause
that's
that's a mess.
Yeah.
But go to Tullahoma
Yeah.
because it's real close to our size community, and they've got their egresses and they got everything
Yeah.
right, And that, but to your point, it took a while to get that done.
That's right.
But when you make it attractive for companies to invest in your community, they're going to come, not because of what you do now,
That's
but
right.
what somebody did maybe 5 or 10 years
That's
ago.
exactly
What
right.
Tullahoma does that we could do a better job of, if the Crystal goes out of business, they tear the Crystal down and put something in its place. We have a tendency to leave whatever left sitting there,
Yeah.
and we all want to go out 231 and build something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, Domino's.
I mean, well, I'm just saying that Tullahoma has done a better job with that, and maybe we
Yeah.
can in the future.
Has that bothered you, Bo?
I mean,
You
it's
know,
something to think
and
about.
what people need to realize too, not picking on Pat Ray.
It's a good question.
It's a good question. I mean, it's a
topic.
good point.
Yeah, yeah,
It takes somebody willing to take a risk
right.
and put that business out there,
And
Yeah.
the risk is the
Okay,
number one factor.
and it's a huge risk.
It sure is. Yeah.
And you got to look at the demographics. We're trying to raise our demographics,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
by population,
Mhm.
but
Average
by
household
average
income.
household
Average
income.
household
What is the
What
average
Look at.
household income
we
in Shelbyville?
It ain't good.
we raised our
40, around
population.
40,
We raised our
40,000,
population
something like
because of
that.
affordable
Yeah.
land, and affordable land, you got a lot of houses, and then that just grows a population without that are working using. You've
Yeah.
heard bedroom community
Mhm.
term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that
A
creates.
lot of people wonder why Tullahoma gets a lot of these businesses. We don't. It's the demographics
Yeah.
because they've got so many people from Arnold
Yeah.
working with a
Yeah,
high
absolutely.
income.
It-
They have anywhere from
Yeah.
$5,700 to $6,300 more average family
That's
income.
right. That's
That's
right.
huge difference.
It's different.
So
it's
it's
close,
automatic.
but it's different. It's different than
Yeah.
Shelbyville.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they took a risk years ago. I mean, the shopping center that went
they
over
sure
there,
did.
the
It finally kind of
Castronaut, we had
Yeah, I'm
Castronaut,
still
and they,
upset
I
about
think
that.
they offered that in Shelbyville,
yeah.
and Tullahoma took it,
Oh,
and
they
you
did.
saw
Yeah.
Yeah.
that.
We'll
it just
skip
took
on
off.
how that happened. We
Yeah.
won't
You
go
want to
there.
hear about that?
No,
I know all about it.
Commercial break. Commercial break.
Let's take a skip
hey,
that.
hey, speaking of that, and we need to do some commerce here, Bill.
You want to do something?
Do some. Tell us who sponsored this
All
one
right.
tonight.
Today's show is brought to you by Shelbyville Animal Hospital, 628 North Main Street, right here in Shelbyville, 931-684-8088. Dr. Andrew Anderson and Dr. Stephen Stimpson are your veterinarians for your cats and dogs. And then we've got the winner's
Hey,
circle.
what about hamsters? Y'all do work on hamsters?
not work on
No,
hamsters.
No
Parrots.
hamsters.
Parrots.
No,
Just cats,
Cats and dogs.
cats and dogs.
We just
that's
want to
it.
be clear.
Don't
We
even do
might
large
get some
animals anymore.
questions.
No what?
No large animals anymore either.
No
State made
horses.
it too
Really?
complicated.
Yeah.
You got to have 2 separate licenses.
What about a
pay
great big
fees.
old dog?
Great big old dog? What do you
All right, okay. All right.
The winner's circle right here in Shelbyville, 603 Evans Street. Ariat clothing, buck knives, and really sharp objects are down here.
Yeah, really
We
sharp.
got case and we got some really sharp stuff and some good looking
Hey, we got
knives.
switchblades,
Uh-oh.
Do you really?
Oh
Yeah.
boy! Oh.
and they are legal to carry
In
in
the
the
state
state
of
of Tennessee since 2014.
That's
right.
So if you would
I
like
got a
to,
pocket full. Or
if you would like to get a switchblade, you push a button, the blade pops out. We sell them right here. Buck, the best.
Nice.
Good deal.
Can we give out that phone number, David? Or you just want him to come in?
I just want them to come
He
in.
don't
I don't
want
want
no
you to
calling.
call.
He
I
wants
just
to talk
want you
to
to
you.
come in.
Yeah.
Look at me out of
Come
my
in and ask for David Thomas. Everybody does. I do it all the time. In fact, I just walk on back and interrupt you.
Yeah, that's good.
Sometimes
That's
he'll
good.
feed you. You just never
All
know.
right. He had a great spread here tonight. He fed everybody here tonight.
I want to thank my wife for that.
Oh,
I
yes,
want to
sir.
thank her.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Yeah,
Great
amazing.
move. Thank you,
All
man.
right, so we're
Yeah.
still waiting now on some precincts to come in, which we don't have. But I'm going to tell you, I think based on that number, and I was looking at this district, Ward 5 again. I gave the wrong number out on Josh's total. I said 352. It was 362.
I got
That's what I had down.
362.
Yeah, that's what
362.
you
You
got.
said
Okay,
right.
okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
gave the right one.
All right, and looking at that margin, we would have to have probably, if that margin held straight, there would have to be a real big disparity in the votes.
Mm.
This is
Because
a-
you
this-
stick,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is where where the votes could. That's where.
I agree with
That's
both.
where she's going
This
to
is
come
where
into
she's
play.
fixing to pick up votes right here.
Yeah, and this right here could go. I don't think she's maxed out at 136. Obviously,
No.
and none of them are. But so far the early voting has been the telling
Oh yeah.
story. It's really hard. It's really too close to call in this one right here. Although,
59 votes difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's too close.
What's going on nationally, David?
I hadn't seen anything. Let's take a look.
We do know in Tennessee or in Bedford County, Trump at early voting is Trump 11,488, Kamala Harris 2,990.
Right now, we've got 101 electoral votes already called for Trump and 49 for Harris.
It's still early.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, way early.
Oh yeah.
Be interesting to see. They keep saying
Right
Georgia's
now,
close. I don't see Georgia being
With
close.
52% in, Donald Trump's 55.1% to 44.3% in the state of Georgia.
Huh.
And I saw that coming. But you can see everything the way it's shaped here is the South's going for Trump, which doesn't shock
What
me.
surprised me is North Carolina's neck and neck,
Well,
but not a lot reporting.
There's
yet.
been a Washington Post and New York Times have came out with some kind of, I guess, excuse pieces for the Kamala campaign. I thought that was kind of interesting in the last couple hours. And that's usually, where they're kind of starting the blame game. And it
Yeah.
seems like that's starting to happen a little bit, but you never can tell. It's way too early.
If Virginia went for Trump somehow, some way, the election's over.
Yes.
Over.
That's
Well, in
That probably
Pennsylvania.
won't,
Pennsylvania.
But
Pennsylvania.
Virginia would be huge.
Yeah.
I think he's going to win Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Of course, I thought
Well,
he
yeah,
won
he's
4
got
years ago.
to. He's got to.
He's
Well,
got
I
to
thought
win
he won
Pennsylvania. He's
Yeah.
got to win.
In fact, when I went to bed, he did win Pennsylvania.
I know it.
Michigan.
You're still in that dream.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like Groundhog Day. Here we go again.
That number just went up on
On which one?
electoral. Did hit
So what, another
Mr.
state? Probably
Trump's
Maine.
state's much-
I think.
101.52.
Vermont or one of those.
We'll monitor this as we go along, and of course, we'll be long gone before we.
Absolutely.
Oh,
As soon as we get these
Oh,
local
yeah,
numbers
but
in,
we
we're
should
done.
be getting these local numbers in
Yeah.
pretty soon.
I'm kind of surprised we don't already have them.
Let's take a
Kinda.
poll. Let's take a poll. David, start with you. When do you think the election will be officially called and certified and everybody's good to go?
Santa will deliver the news to us.
You're
So you're
saying
saying Christmas.
It's gonna be.
December.
I think no, not really. I think probably it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks before it's
think-
certified.
I agree.
I think
Right.
so.
Oh, the lawyers love that. They just can't
Yeah.
wait to get all
Maryland?
of that.
Pretty much around Thanksgiving.
Oh, you think that's okay. Mayor?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the same thing.
Bill?
Thanksgiving.
No,
Bo?
I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic.
I am too, Bo.
I'm going to say by the least, today's the 5th. I'd say by the end of the week,
We're
at
gonna
least
go-
Monday, maybe Monday.
And if it's not
Next
as
Monday.
close as people think, that could well be true.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
go. I'm gonna go the 20th.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
Guys,
I feel
what
good about
if?
20.
What if this thing is the margin is so much wider than what we think it could be? Either way, and really any contesting, it's not going to make a
Then it'll be
difference.
quicker.
It's going to
That's
be.
right.
You'll
It'll be faster.
know. We'll
Yeah.
know.
Then
If
they'll
it-
make
if
that
it's
We'll
a
know,
large,
but we
yeah.
won't
Then they can make it
officially
law.
know.
officially know.
Yeah.
But we'll have a 99% if that were to happen.
Hopefully. I mean,
What are
we
your
just don't know.
predictions if Trump wins in a total landslide?
What is my predictions as far as what
As
happens
far as-
next?
It's
What-
chaos or
the next 70 days between now and when he's officially seated as
I
president.
think whoever
inauguration.
gets, I'll say this: whoever wins the presidency is going to have a tough road to hoe, more so for Harris than Trump. I think that no matter what happens, we have a failing economy that's going to be hard to dig out of, and it's going to take some time. And a lot of people are going to expect the minute somebody's elected, there's going to be a change. And it can't change that quick.
No.
We're looking into spring and maybe even fall next year
Mhm.
before we see the tide turn. Even if both of them, if either one of them were to wave a magic wand and do the right things that build the economy and turn it around, I think we're still a long road to hoe, and then
Right.
people are going to lose their patience. And I think that between now and the end of the year, I think we're going to have a lot of chaos and turmoil.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
hopeful
And
for a peaceful
economy,
transition. I'm
yeah.
hopeful
I
that
think
that,
the stock market's going to be all over the place.
you know,
It did well today.
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
there could be a lot said by this, just this administration, peaceful transition of power.
yeah.
I mean, we like to see that. We need that. But
Absolutely.
you hear all the things that might happen or this and that. But I really I'm hopeful for a peaceful transition of power, and then whichever way it goes.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we need to have integrity in these elections, because it's our way to have a peaceful civil war.
Yeah.
You know, it's
That's right.
It's our
Yeah.
American.
Yes, I mean
Right.
The elephant
to
in
do
the room
this.
here
Yeah.
too is no matter who the president is, how does Congress shape up after this?
Well,
And-
That's right.
Yeah,
we haven't
we
mentioned
got
that
any
yet.
numbers on the congressional races?
Because it looked like the
Just in
Republicans
Tennessee,
were going to
probably.
take the Senate, but there was a
Yeah.
chance they
Yeah.
could lose the House.
yeah, and
That's
that,
exactly right.
and it would be hard for
Yeah.
them to get done, although they didn't get anything done
Yeah.
when they did have the majority. I think that was probably due to Trump having a lot of the swamp creatures around him.
Mhm.
Dan, I think
Well, I
he's
think
learned
that
a
was
lot
the problem
since
when
then.
they took the House over the last time, is you had a lot of what I would call them, Brent would call them as well, rhinos in there.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
you
what
really
they
didn't
are.
take it over.
That's right.
That's what they are. Feedback.
Yeah, we're getting a little feedback here.
That's
We got our tech guy on
that's
this.
our special effects.
I don't know what's going on, guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
Turn the volume down. Better?
I don't know.
Nope.
Well, we
Let Marilyn sing.
Commercial break.
might need to reboot it or something.
Okay.
I'll bear with us here.
All right, we should be good now.
There you go.
We was having a little
Yeah.
echo taking
Perfect,
place there.
Yeah,
Why don't you ask that same question to some other people around here?
Well,
You
that's
just
what I
pointed blank,
was.
you
I
just
know.
headed that
I know.
direction.
Well, I'm gonna go around
And
here.
I'm gonna turn on some air in this place.
It's getting warm in here.
There's a lot of hot air
Hot
in
in
this
here.
room.
I tell you, Bill Anderson puts out some hot
Yeah,
air.
buddy.
Now.
Better believe it.
Well, I'll ask the same question to Bill Anderson.
Yes, sir.
Go far away.
What question you asked?
Yeah,
The question I asked David.
Which one was it?
Oh well, the question of where do you see this thing, ending up?
Oh, of the president thing.
Uh-huh.
To me, I'm going to go back to the Congress thing. What happens in Congress is going to have a lot to do with whatever
Absolutely.
the president is.
And what kind of job they can do. That's
Because you
right.
put Randy Carroll, the mayor of the city of Shelbyville, it depends on what Marilyn Ewing and the city council is.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly
That's
right.
how the government works.
That's exactly right.
The mayor's a figurehead, so to speak, but it's the council or the commission that does the others. So how does that work, and how can you work with them?
That's right.
Now, the Senate, I'm assuming, I do think goes Republican this time, and I think it's about 4 or 5 votes, and I think that's pretty well thought of. How does the House go? Well, if Trump comes in with both houses, he's going to be able to do some stuff pretty quick.
Yeah.
If Kamala comes in and she doesn't have both houses, she's going to be gridlocked.
Let's change the question now.
Well,
And
can I
don't think-
retract?
okay,
Can I
yeah,
retract my answer and
You-
give you a short answer?
You can.
I'll be relieved.
Yeah. I think
It's
everybody will.
over. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
and it's like stressful, just wondering and worrying and all this stuff. Now you know where you're at.
they're just
Right.
bringing
The
the,
biggest
the voting.
difference to
They're
me-
just bringing the voting machines from the precincts now to update.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. So
Is if Trump gets in here, the cost of
Okay,
energy, I
742.
do think, goes down really
Yes.
quick.
Oh yeah. Which improves business and
Which
everything.
improves
Yeah.
everything.
Sure it does.
Yeah.
Because we quit importing oil, we start using our oil, we got plenty of oil. And that's one thing I think he does immediately is the cost of energy goes down.
Yes.
I don't know if
And
y'all
we've
have
got to
noticed or
start
not,
going down.
but
on everything.
OPEC has basically said we're going to keep producing more and that's driven the price down now
Yeah.
because our demand is not as much.
Right.
And then you throw Trump's in it, we could be down to $1.50 a gallon.
It's
Wouldn't that be
never been
something?
this fluid though. The peaks and
Yeah.
the valleys.
But
It's
when
just-
we're 100% independent,
Yeah.
the
That's
oil
where you
companies have
wanna
got to
be.
make money.
and that's where
and they
fracking can
can.
come in and our
Well,
oil
fracking,
supply.
you got to be up in the 80 range. We're going to get down in the 60s. The fracking, we won't even need the fracking.
No,
Yeah, California's sitting on so much.
know it.
Sure.
I mean, can you imagine the oil they're sitting on? I mean, I saw an article the other day. It's just unbelievable.
we could go like 400 years and never report any oil from anybody. Now, why
It
we
was
haven't done this forever? I don't know.
Trillions of barrels.
Trillions of
Yeah,
barrels.
It's
I thought the
crazy.
same all the
Yeah.
time.
Well, the thing about it, if you just look at the Gulf of Mexico, there are bulges in the Gulf of Mexico, south of Louisiana.
You're
And
right.
they say if they don't drill, it's just going to erupt into the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to harness that.
Mm.
We got to get that.
Which makes you think is oil really fossil fuel or is it being produced in the earth?
And then
A
maybe
whole
we
nother-
can export
A
it.
whole
Oh,
nother
yeah.
subject.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
But
so,
for years,
But
what
it's
we've
very
done-
important. It's the lifeline of our country.
Yeah, it is.
fossil
Of the
fuels
whole world.
Well,
and,
it'll
and
affect you,
renewal
it'll
and
affect
renew-
food and everything else
There-
if
there-
we get the price of that.
There's a
Sure,
place for
yeah.
solar for in its own capacity, but as far as changing the whole system,
Yeah.
if it's not broke, don't fix it.
But for years, we've imported from OPEC to appease some of our Arabian friends,
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
and then turn around and let our oil companies sell our stuff to the Chinese. How about let the Chinese buy from OPEC? Let's just be doing. Let's keep our own stuff.
Maybe we'll see that.
Yeah,
Well, that's
we're
one
we're
thing I
in the
think you'll see
world
Trump
policy
doing.
now.
Yeah, we
That's
are.
exactly right.
We're in the
And
world
we're just in
policy.
Bedford
But it
County.
all fits, it all fits
You're out
into
of
the
my
economy,
field. It all fits in the economy.
and it starts with energy.
We're going full circle.
But
All right.
it affects all of us.
Let's
That's
go.
exactly
Let's go
right.
positives for each candidate. So let's start. Let's start with Harris. Since we kind of talked about Trump tonight, let's start with Harris.
She's got the media on her
what
side.
What are the positives that she brings to the table other than the media? Her first 100 days in office. What can she do? And I'll just leave it open table. I'm not going to pick on anybody.
She's not Joe Biden.
Okay, so has there been another presidential election where the way she came in? Oh, David's already shaking.
No.
No,
Okay,
it's never happened before.
so is that a strike against her?
That may be because Joe Biden had been in Congress so long. He had those people that could get things done, and he could call on his friends and things like that. That may hurt Ms. Harris if she gets elected because she just doesn't have that connection, those relationships.
And maybe Biden's a little
And
upset.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah.
kind of got pulled away, and rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
saw that he was. It was
The only
time.
reason he got pulled away was Trump was winning the state of New York, and they knew they couldn't have it,
Yeah.
and that's why they
Yeah.
did it.
It was possible for them, though, to have a convention
Oh
Yes,
they could have had a
and
caucus
and
of
allowed the
convention
people to be a part of this.
They could have.
That's
She
the
didn't get any
negative.
votes.
No.
That's the negative.
And doesn't that show the cards though a little bit of what's going on with that party?
Yeah.
That they don't even let their own representatives or own delegates vote.
That's
I thought
exactly
that was
right.
kind of weird.
No, it's here.
Now, let me
Take it or
ask
leave
this
it.
this question, Brent, to you the other way. Let's say
All right.
that Mr. Trump was in trouble.
Yep.
He's getting beat, and he decides he wants out. Are they going to take him out, and we're going to put DeSantis in there? You think we'd have stood for DeSantis just going in there without anybody voting for him?
I think it would have been. I think they would have gone through the process.
I think it would have gone through the
Yeah.
process as well.
I think that there's likely if Miss Harris wins that Trump might end up in prison. They might go after him all the way after this one. I mean, they've almost put him in the grave, and you just never know. I mean, it seems like they're going to finish the man off. If he loses. which
Well, if
I
he
hope don't.
loses, he's done.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I mean, I don't think they will.
So,
I just
so
think
what
that-
other positives do we have for Harris?
Oh, come on, there's gotta be confidence. Of course there will.
That's it. That's
I'm
it.
not. I mean,
Media?
yeah, but media. I mean, she's
Well,
got
the first
wait,
100
wait.
days.
Tell me,
The first 100 days in office. What's she going to do?
Ask Joe Rogan that question.
She's going to put Trump in jail. That's her first 100 days. I don't know.
I mean, it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
How you answer that question.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know. She's
Okay,
not
what's
gonna do
her
anything.
what's her platform?
I'd say I
What's
don't
her
know.
platform? And of
Trump's
course,
bad. That's all I've heard. Trump's bad. Trump's awful.
I haven't heard
I haven't heard her
anything.
really. I tried to listen to it. And I haven't heard anything except more of what Biden did.
Turn the page. Trump is bad.
A bunch of sound bites.
Yeah.
And whatever Biden did, I'm going to do the same. And the negative here is the economy is so bad, the inflation's so
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
That's where you got to sit here and go, hey, I would do this different to get inflation down.
And then she's just Donald Trump's a bad man. You know, it's just the same
Well, he's a
kind of
threat
thing
to
that-
democracy.
Yeah,
So
he
who's
is.
going to mess with Social Security and Medicare? Anybody?
Yeah, and would
Nobody's-
she,
nobody's
she even
gonna
change
try.
anybody on the cabinet? I
She-
mean, I
she's
don't
not
know.
going to do that. He's not. gonna
That's
do
No,
political
that's
suicide.
just
Yeah.
political suicide. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Now we have an issue to try to shore up the finances, and that comes with not spending all this,
There
up,
you
not
go.
sending money to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
'Cause
Or
it's not gonna
Israel.
be here.
That's right.
Yeah, no
or
more
anybody.
money. Done.
Let's take
Yeah.
care of the United States first. We
Yeah.
got 290 something countries we're sending money to on a daily basis. Iran is getting money from us.
Can you imagine if we just stopped
Our enemy.
all
Oh, yeah.
the welfare to all of these countries, and who cares what side you are on the fence politically, and we just concentrated on
Right here.
Americans, infrastructure, healthcare, education.
Security.
I mean, I'm no socialist, and everybody knows that here. I'm about as far right as I can go. But if we did that with that money, I think everything would be pretty much free. And I mean education at the college level. I think food prices would go down, healthcare. And you know what? I'd rather it be free here for Americans than sending it overseas.
Well, while we're waiting on our returns locally, I'm going to ask a question. What do you guys think about Trump's idea of tariff of 100% and no income tax? That came out in the Joe Rogan.
Well, that's two things. No income tax, yes. Because if you think about it,
But they're
the
tied
only
together.
reason
They're
the only
tied
reason
together.
we needed an income tax because it was tied to gold. Since then, we don't really need an income tax because the Fed, which is not a part of the federal government, it's a private bank. They control our money, right?
Mhm.
Now, the second part of your question was what?
The tariff.
The tariff.
tariff.
It's both of them together, though.
I don't think we need tariffs. That's been proven time and time again. That does
It's
not
going to
work.
increase our prices.
But what is
It's
that?
going to
will, it
increase the
does
prices
not
for the
work.
individual
All right,
consumer.
Tad Craig wants to run the show, and he wants to ask Marilyn a question.
Yes, sir.
What would you ask Tad? What do you want us to ask Marilyn? He wants us to shut up and let Marilyn talk.
Yeah.
Would y'all allow Marilyn to
on
speak?
what?
I don't know. What do you want to talk
Tad-
about,
Tad, I've been
Marilyn?
talking.
What do you want to talk about?
He wants to
Marilyn?
hear more Maryland. I thought.
Yeah,
he does,
That's what
he
he's saying.
does.
No, he just wants us to shut up.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Like more cowbell, like more Maryland.
All right, Tad, we'll shut up now.
From the guy that,
Thank you,
that telling somebody to Tad
I've known-
Craig, he don't talk at all.
No.
Well, Tad and I go way back. Well, I've known Tad forever. And he's-
Tad, you want more results? We ain't got results
his-
yet.
his-
I
That's
we
why
want
we're
more
around.
results.
We need some results.
Now, so doing away the income tax. Now, that gets a little tricky when people aren't used to, aren't capable of, or however you want to put it, to put away their own pot of money and save and retire and that type of thing. Some people can do that. And I think that's when people say the government's too much in our money.
Mhm.
We
Yep.
should handle our own. Is that what you're kind of thinking, doing away with that?
Doing
or
away with what?
just
Income
kind
tax.
of the income tax.
Income tax and retirement has nothing to do with each other.
Right.
We're talking about, if you're talking about Social Security, it became a tax,
Right.
and it wasn't starting out that way.
Yeah.
It was started out as of a retirement that the government's going to
But
manage.
what's eating
Anything
up
the
your Social
government,
Security is one thing. What's eating up Social Security, guys?
Inflation.
Disability. It's the new welfare, and
Mm.
that's what's killing Social
Yeah,
Security
anybody
right now.
gets
It's
hooked
not
up.
retired
so
people. You
you're
pay
saying
in.
it's still
We changed welfare to disability.
Yeah.
And it's coming out of Social Security now.
Yeah.
That's what's bankrupt Social
so
Security.
easy.
Well,
to
and there's another thing too. People are living a lot longer
Sure.
now than they were,
Baby
back
boomers.
when Roosevelt was president.
Right.
Mhm.
Because he set that up to where,
Right.
I mean, you might have had it for a year or two, and then you kick the bucket. Now, you may live another 15 or 20
let's think
years.
about the whole
That's
process
true.
of that, though. The way that was set up, it was the government saying, y'all can't save, y'all are stupid, we're going to do it for you.
That's what it's saying. Yeah.
That's what they said. So you got to send money to us, and we're going to save it for you. What about if everybody just said, okay, let's take $20 a week out of my check and just start a fund over here privately? I guarantee you'd have more money at the end of the day.
Oh,
when it's
maybe
retirement
not.
time.
This is basically a pension. Is what this was.
But what
And
hap-
there's so
but
many
what hap-
people in
but
our
what
community.
The
happens-
only thing I see wrong with that, David, is you people are investing their money in different places with different people representing them, and how much have they lost because somebody made a wrong decision?
Well,
and those folks are
but it's-
counting on
it
that.
The
can't-
wrong
I know
person
that.
became president.
That's
right.
right.
But I'm saying the government has no business managing the people's
Agreed.
retirement. are
Well-
trying to provide
Or
for.
Well,
spending it.
Well, back to
If they're
back
gonna
to
have it.
Trump
See,
and
they
the
just-
taxes.
They just hit me with this RMD. When I get 72 years old,
Right.
you've got to
You
got
got
to pull money out of the
right. But
savings
let's
account
just
that you've had.
let's
for
just
years.
say though,
Yeah.
you had taken the money you were paying in all those years,
Right.
and Social Security didn't exist. You'd be much better off just putting it in a long-term growth mutual fund, earning 10, 12%.
Oh, heck, at the bank at 6% would have been better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the government, no offense, I know you're a mayor and y'all are all government officials, but the government messes everything they touch. They mess it up.
What happens to the money if you turn 65 or whatever you're turning and start drawing your Social Security and you kick the bucket at 66?
Your spouse gets it,
Yep.
part of it,
Okay.
or
No spouse.
It goes right
no
back.
spouse.
Then it goes right
You're
back.
gone.
Where is it?
It's gone.
gone.
To Ukraine or Israel.
Yes, Ukraine probably.
I knew you'd say something like that. It's
And that
another
happens
country.
sometimes.
Yeah,
But
Marilyn,
we
you're
have
exactly
so many
right.
people in Shelbyville and Bedford County that are living on Social Security.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's why it's
exactly
so important to keep your
Solely.
taxes low. That's why it's so important about housing
That's
the way
exactly
it is.
right.
Yeah.
These folks are struggling.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a
Month to
lot of
month.
our
That's
community.
exactly right.
And it's the
Fixed.
forgotten
That is
class.
fixed.
We got to take
We
care
got,
of
senior
it.
we
citizens.
got results here.
All right.
Southside
Right.
Precinct is reporting 25 Blevins, 25 Isaacs, and 42 McCullough.
All right, repeat that again.
This is for the Southside Precinct. Josh Blevins, 25. Stephanie Isaacs, 25. And D. McCullough, 42. That's
Okay.
in today's. That's
All
today's.
right, what does that get our totals to?
All right, I'm working on that.
That's,
Take it up very much.
It's not changing hardly any.
It sounds
It'll
like-
387 to 345.
it bumped D a little bit.
Little bump.
All right, thoughts on the polls in Pennsylvania?
It's
Too early
too
to
close
tell.
to call. Yeah.
Too early to tell.
It's
We
not
only
south
have
side.
What did you say
13%
that was?
reporting.
340?
Three-
And when
I
we
got
get up to 60 or
345 for
65%,
McCullough.
we'll have a better baseline.
387 for Blevins, and that put Isaacs up to.
Those were
She's out of
the
it.
election day numbers only. At
She's up to
Southside.
161.
161.
Looks
That's
like
not early voting. That's just today.
looks like in Florida,
Just
Scott
today.
won
Well, who's best
for
governor in the
Senate.
country?
For Senate.
Who?
Scott.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
okay. I
yeah.
got what you meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Florida was locked up anyway, but still.
So we should be getting some more of these now that they've started.
Well, Thomas
out,
will be
we
the
should
big
be-
box. I'm assuming for that.
Oh yeah, that's
the big one.
That's the
Yeah.
big one. Right.
And that's probably going to be
So we-
Stephanie's pop.
That would
Yeah,
be her
that's right.
pop, you would think.
Mhm.
So you got Southside,
Thomas.
you got Thomas, and what was the other one?
The big one for Josh Blevins will be the church
Fairhaven?
First Assembly. First Assembly of God.
First
Fairhaven doesn't
Gary
do it
Aiken
anymore.
is big. Gary Aiken's
And that'll be
That'll
for
be
Gary.
big for Gary.
Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary and
JD.
Betsy.
Betsy.
Yeah.
Okay, run those numbers down again for District 5.
All right,
Or
you've
for
got
Ward 5.
You got Josh Blevins with 387, Bubba D. McCullough with 345, and Stephanie Isaacs now has 161.
Okay, got a tight race there between
It is
Josh and
close.
Bubba D.
And that's combined. That's the total so far reported.
Right. That's combining the one precinct and the early vote.
That's right.
That's right.
Looking at the Senate, looks like let's see, 32 for Democrats, 42 for Republicans. Looks like they flipped one. On the House, 33 Democrats, 69 Republicans, and this is just the latest off CNN, for example.
Just for the record, Virginia, 45% reporting Donald Trump is up 49.6% to 48.7.
Look at the electoral
Close.
roll,
It's close.
101.71.
Yeah.
Well,
She's jumped 20.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
she
y'all
picked
what,
up
if
Illinois.
somehow
Yeah.
Trump wins
Yeah.
Virginia, look out.
it's
If he wins Virginia, he's going to win Pennsylvania.
That's what
But
it
he's
is.
got to win them both. I mean, he does.
No, he doesn't have to win Virginia at all.
As long
Well,
as he wins North Carolina.
Pennsylvania,
If he wins North Carolina, Georgia, and Pennsylvania,
Yeah,
he let the
that's-
rest go.
right?
So what happened? Is it the electoral vote, and it used to be the popular vote?
No, it's
Always
always been
been
electoral.
electoral.
Always
Always
been.
been.
Always
Okay.
been. Popular vote does not represent the country as a whole.
Okay.
And
It's
that
based
wouldn't
on
be
population.
that wouldn't be a Republican form of government. That would be
Democracy.
mob rule.
Honestly, that would be democracy. Everybody thinks we
tyranny
live
of
in a
the
democracy.
majority. Tyranny of the majority.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're
Not
we're
every
a
election, no
constitutional
matter how it
republic.
goes,
That's
the
right.
Republicans usually carry 35, 36 states, and the Democrats carry 14. That's just the way it is.
Los Angeles and New York City would elect your president,
That's
every time.
exactly right.
and you can, or Chicago,
that
those
wouldn't-
three.
That's
and,
why they-
and there would be only one party.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's based on population.
It's based on population. The districts are broke down.
And that's where the
And
electoral.
each-
Mr. Gore got
go.
more popular vote than Mr. Bush did
Yeah.
Right.
in that election.
Yeah, because they're going to carry
Yeah.
California and New York
That's-
every time,
that's
and that
exactly right.
inflates their numbers.
That's exactly right.
But what's
So-
different here, I've said this earlier today, and I might have said it on the show already, but how Florida used to be this battleground.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And it isn't now.
it did.
He's carrying it 8-10 points. It's not even close.
Yeah,
but
no.
what they have done in Florida, a buddy of mine I was talking to today, is how not restricted,
Okay,
how they cleaned up the voting
138
process down
for Henry Feldhouse from East Side.
That's right.
there. My district.
He might get it. Y'all think?
He might.
He's got it. It's a wrap. Congratulations, Mr. Feldhouse.
That's
got
right.
it.
Congratulations,
Yes, sir.
Henry.
Congrats.
That was a
Congrats.
That was a
And
good.
you're more than
good
welcome
turnout.
to come up here and give a
How many,
victory speech.
how many
Over
terms
500
will this make
votes.
for him? How many terms will this make for him?
About 10.
He's been mayor a couple
He's been
times.
mayor
He's-
2 times.
done it for a
Wow.
long
How many
time.
times?
Yeah.
He dropped out for a little while there, but then he's been. I
This
don't know
last-
how
this
many
last time,
terms. Huh?
3 terms this last time.
I think so. He
Yeah.
took a break. He was
Yeah.
mayor, and
And he
you know,
ran for county mayor.
But I
against
was. I
Mayor
think he
Ray
was
and
2
got beat.
terms.
Oh,
as
did he?
city
I
mayor.
remember
Yeah.
that.
It was
Back in the
Eugene's
90s.
first, second
Yeah,
run.
Probably
80,
Okay.
late 80s, I think.
Yeah.
Late 80s and early 90s.
Early 90s. Yeah.
All right, we need to get Aiken School, and we
Oh,
need
yeah.
to get
Thomas School. And
Thomas?
We got several. We've got just one reporting so far, and that's Southside. So
So we didn't get
those
anything
election
else
day
from
numbers
each
are a little
side?
low to me.
That's all.
Yeah,
That's all
that's
it's
it. I
gonna
mean,
be.
we,
That's
our
it.
early voting
Ain't
is
nobody
just
else
turned-
there running.
that's
Maybe,
what
but
most
I mean,
people are doing.
you're
But
looking
right.
at
we
Especially
got
on
what?
Southside. I mean,
92
got,
votes in a
uh,
big box.
We've got Thomas.
Right.
Then we've
East
got
side
First
was
Assembly of
138.
God, and what's the other?
Aiken.
Aiken? No, but there's another one that's for District 5, Ward 5.
Fairhaven
There's
or-
4. No, that's for First
Green
Assembly
Hills
of God.
Yeah, that's for Assembly.
I'm not sure.
Thomas.
That one. Is that it?
That might
Josh,
be
if
it.
you're listening, tell us what your precincts are for Ward 5.
I
Yeah.
was thinking that
They've
was
moved a couple.
in the city. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
I think so.
He told me
Is
there
there
were 4.
airport? Is it airport?
No. There's 4.
I don't know
Well,
where
he
the
picked
fourth
up.
one would
He
be.
picked up a few out there in Southside.
I know that, but he's got another one. Let's see, where
I don't
is
know
it?
where the
Oh,
fourth one would be.
WBTS out in the county.
Yeah,
Because part of the city
That's
votes
right.
there.
that's
It's
exactly.
going to be a small slither.
Yeah, just
Yep.
a little
off,
bit.
out off Sims Road, out in that
Yeah.
direction
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah,
Wow, I
it's
didn't
off
know
of
that.
It's
yeah.
WBTS.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't know they voted there either.
Well, that's got to be confusing
Well,
for the
the
election
presidential
people, too.
election, all that stuff too.
Now, let's say you work out
Yeah,
there.
That's right.
How are you supposed to decipher?
Yeah.
I mean, that just
I
looks
guess
like
if they know that they're going, if that's their design location to go to, then they know that they're. I don't know.
Let's
It is a little
remember,
farther.
this
Yeah,
is
the election
red
works.
Hey,
card.
yeah,
It
remember
doesn't
this,
look up.
guys.
Yeah.
This is a county election commission. That's
Right.
all we have. We don't have a city election commission. So
Yeah.
That's
when
true.
it divides up,
That's
It
right.
goes
the
to
county, the city is in the county, so it slices up
Mhm.
based on those districts. They come into a point right to the center of town,
That's right.
and that particular ward has got that weird combination. So
Mhm.
That's interesting. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
you get
But
that
you know,
map out. You
It
see
brings
it.
another point, the fact that it is unreal that the people just don't know exactly what ward they're in, who's their
You're right.
commissioner
Maryland.
or their council.
There's some people don't
Or-
even know they live in Bedford County.
I didn't go
promise
that
you.
far.
Well, no,
but-
it's the truth. I had a lady the other
Well, we
day
love
got in a
having you here.
conversation, and I said,
We got Thomas reporting.
All right.
Okay.
all right,
Thomas reporting 14 Blevins, 19 Isaacs, and 20 McCullough. So
that's all that voted there today.
Wow.
That's it.
that's all that's
They must be
reporting right
This
now.
election's over, guys,
This-
Yeah.
this,
Who's got it over there?
because First
Looks like
Assembly of
Blevins.
God is going to be heavily with Josh.
It's strange to me how East Side, my precinct, votes 138, and look at these numbers for South Side. Nobody voted. here.
Everybody
That's
early
a total?
voted.
Yeah, everybody.
That's the totals for election day.
All right,
That's the total?
Thomas, and then he gave another. Okay, this is for Daniel 0, Gary Hale 1, and Betsy Noel 1.
what? Where is that?
That is
you
at
have like
Thomas.
one road
Yeah, that's right.
that's like votes there.
Well, I'm
that's
glad
in
that we had
in
a
that
couple.
ward.
That's right.
Okay.
It's weird.
One
Like,
road?
when
Well,
you have
they
a-
tie
Maybe
in,
one
yeah.
one little road.
Go
that
over to
comes right
Aiken
up
and
here.
vote.
Well,
How
at least
many
they
people
voted
there?
there.
Probably
Okay.
about the number of people that voted here, 3.
So they're
So,
combined. They're combining
probably-
precincts on some of them. I
So
mean,
what does this look like compared to the last election, the last presidential election?
We're going to be
As far
slightly
as-
We're
below.
going to be below it.
Really?
But
Yeah.
we've got a heavier early voting.
early vote. So
No, this
You don't
total-
think so?
No, I know. Josh said
But
it was
this,
down
this
by
is
compared
very,
to the
this
day.
is very minimal
Yeah.
for.
Very
Compared,
minimal of election
No,
day.
yes.
Well, Josh did these numbers, and if you see where he put it out, we were like 1% below the last presidential election on early voting.
But what about election day totals?
We're going to be way below.
Really?
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. That's
Wait,
what I
That's
just said. Yeah.
interesting. So
Yeah, I
I
mean,
guess there
I
were
think-
some
I think-
people out there that didn't go vote.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
Thomas, what, is there one street? Maybe there's more
One
than
or two, but very just.
So you had,
I can't believe that total.
two people
I can't either.
Okay, what's their total now in Ward 5?
All right, it's Blevins 401, McCullough 365, and Isaac's 180. What I
yeah,
got.
so the last, so Blevins had the big number coming out of the gate, and
Well, he's got the big number coming.
yeah, and it may be so.
what?
D's one
First Assembly of
very
God's
small
where
the
his whole
last
thing's
the
going
last
on.
few, but Blevins so far has got the lead, and if
You're going to
we'll
see him
see.
pick up about 150 out there probably at First
You think
Assembly of
that'll be
God.
a good turnout out there at the first assembly? You think that's a big one?
He'll have 9%
I hope so.
of the
I
vote
mean,
there. That's his neighborhood.
Yeah, I know, but I hope so. I mean, these aren't
So
too
he's
far.
got
We've got
the
east side,
365,
south
is that
side,
D?
and Thomas.
Is that D?
over
G's
it.
got 365, Blevins 401,
Okay.
Isaac's 180.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Okay, and what about now for?
Very
It looks like Betsy's going to win that ward.
Unless there's a big, we're still
Well,
waiting
we're still
for
waiting on
Aiken,
Aiken, which
and that's
is the box.
That's
and
the
that's
box.
usually a big
Yeah.
box. But
Yeah.
the way this is going, it's not going to be.
You're going to
Yeah.
probably see 300 or so.
and that's why I'm
Maybe.
hoping that the
Really?
that the
I don't think
church-
so. I think it looks like
Yeah,
150.
Aiken's usually a big one.
I'm hoping that the church. Is
I don't
a good
know
one.
with these other
I mean,
numbers. I don't know.
Well, that's where all Josh's votes are.
I know, but I'm hoping they went.
Well, if
because
they went, I mean, his whole neighborhood went. He's going to get 100, 150 people.
I
Unless
hope
they
they
voted
did.
early.
I hope they did because according to every other precinct, nobody's coming.
Nobody voted.
Maybe-
Well, early voting is nice. I mean,
Yes.
it is nice
Yeah.
to
Oh,
go
yeah.
knock it out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I mean, it was
convenient for
raining a little
you.
bit today. I mean, if you
Yeah.
melt in the rain,
But if anybody voted for Ward 5 out there, Josh has got most of that.
Yeah, I see what you're
So-
saying, but I mean,
Because the only thing that's tied to that is basically Union Station.
yeah. So that right there would be campaigning to get
Right.
that turnout. That would be just on
I
the
mean, he
ground
knocked on
campaigning.
every door there.
I
His
know
whole
he did.
neighborhood.
I know he
was
did.
pretty much.
And Union Heights.
First Assembly probably
Yeah.
mainly
Union
voted
Heights
early.
is also tied in, even
Yeah.
though it's on the opposite
He
side
said
of the road.
that he said First Assembly mainly or probably mainly voted early. That's just
Okay.
and that makes sense. But there'll still be a day turnout, but I don't expect it to be
No,
too high.
everywhere the
I can't
turnout
believe
election day has
today.
been
I mean,
bad.
14.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's
Except my district has been the highest one of all of them. 138
Josh looked
votes.
at this and he thought if we got 60% of the vote, 60% turnout overall, that would be just right at what we got last time.
We ain't
It's probably
sniffing
going
that,
to shoot.
guys.
And this-
Well, not on election day. I'm talking about all of it.
I don't think it'll be 60. I don't
It's
think
probably
it'll
going to be
55.
57, 58, maybe.
I don't know. It's still. I don't know. It's still a little too comfortable or too close to call
Yeah.
right now.
But the numbers are so bad from
oh, yeah.
election day voting.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to make up.
It
even
really
though it's
will.
not much.
I don't expect a whole lot more, and it
So-
would be hard not.
So this is another question, and I think it's indicative to our county. Why is the apathy level so freaking high in this county when it comes to city elections, county elections, these national elections? I mean,
The
Hey,
age-old
you want to
question.
talk about bad? If this wasn't a presidential election, we wouldn't have
Oh,
15.
We would have
oh, I know,
15%.
yeah.
But
I've,
22 election,
I've
yeah.
lived that. I've lived that election before.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's no fun.
yeah.
You can't get anybody to
yeah,
vote.
Yeah.
It comes down to it don't make any difference.
It's apathy.
It's happening.
It's a
I mean,
local
but why
level.
is
They're
that
going to do
apathy?
whatever they want to do. Blah blah blah.
I wish I knew that answer to that question.
But don't they
Yeah.
realize the fact that local, it starts there?
That's
Yeah.
exactly
Because-
right.
You
We
know,
had
we-
3,000 votes when I ran for mayor.
Yeah.
We had 3,000 votes.
Wow. Wow.
Out of
I know.
out of a
And that's
city,
a countywide
Yeah,
election
and that's-
that took
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
That's out of 50-something thousand people, and you figure how many are
20,
registered.
almost 29,000.
That's city now.
That was
Yeah.
city.
That's what's the city.
We're not touching that.
Yeah.
We're not touching that here on these city council races.
Wait a
Lot of
minute. Wait a
people.
minute. That's how many votes you got.
No, that's how many votes
Were
all
cast.
three of the
Total.
candidates from
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
city mayor.
Wow.
We're getting
Just
nowhere
for the
near
city.
that.
No.
You remember when it was citywide for everybody running?
And council members too,
council
yeah.
members.
Oh, really?
Not just
City-
the ward.
Not just
everybody.
the Lord. That's
yeah,
right.
it's like, oh my
And then
goodness.
whoever got
Oh,
the, yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no,
Isn't
would
that the
be
way it
different.
is in War Trace of Bell Buckle? Isn't that,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
that the
all
way
over.
they
Yeah,
get
I
it?
don't
they
think
don't
they
have
break it
boards.
down.
They don't have
So,
boards.
No,
Well,
they're
do
so
have
I
small.
mean, look how little they are if you
Yeah,
slice
Maybe
them up.
the boards would be 30
Yours
feet
Same
tall.
thing as county commissioners. That's the way county
Right.
commissioners are.
Yeah.
Everybody
You
knows
got
their
four
wards.
houses and I have.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. While we're waiting on
A lot
Josh
easier
to
on the
get to that,
candidates just having to work that ward.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
we've
Even though
got
I
now.
work the entire city.
We've got Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, of course, called for Trump.
Yeah.
He's at 120. Harris is at 99.
99.
What does the
I-
Senate? What does the Senate look like in those states?
I don't know. I don't have
Okay.
that. I'm just looking at president right now. But Pennsylvania, Kamala Harris, 62.9%. Donald
Yeah.
Trump, 36.2, but
Yeah.
only 17%.
Depends on
That's
where you're
all
taking it from.
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
all Philadelphia
Yeah.
right there. Coming in
It'll
first.
take them the rest of the week.
Trump is up 51.9 to 47.1 in North Carolina. And of course, they've called him from Florida. Georgia, 52-46. 66% reporting he's looking good there.
Looking pretty
Yep.
good. Yeah. Well, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long week.
Oh, yeah.
Well, according to David, it's going to be long till Christmas. So I mean,
Yeah, we'll be waiting on Santa Claus.
Good buddy.
Yeah, that last float in the Christmas parade.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be.
Let's see the
Oh,
totals.
The Christmas
That's
Christmas parades come by early.
Yeah.
We're talking
It is.
December 24th.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Christmas, we're going to have a big celebration on the.
Yeah.
That's right,
Yay.
December the 3rd. Bedford County Christmas. That'd be great.
Are you
That'd be
dressing
great.
up as Santa or what?
Well, I thought about getting me one of those suits, the top hat and all that, you know.
Oh, there you go.
Dickens
Oh,
Christmas.
I'm sure he'll have a piece
Yeah.
of candy or two
Yeah.
to hand out.
When I go to Franklin,
doing?
I've gone to Franklin at Christmas, and they always really
What are
dress it
you
up.
doing?
For what?
The Christmas
For
party
what?
up on the square.
What's the Grinch?
What about
Yeah,
you?
that is
What are you
definitely the
doing?
Grinch.
The
As
Grinch.
far as-
The Christmas thing. You just gonna go?
I thought that's gonna be easy on you,
Yeah,
Bill.
be easy on me.
Mayor, do we have things we have to do in this celebration or something?
Yeah,
David wants to know my role.
yeah.
What's going on
The
here?
county commission and the mayor and the city council and the city mayor, all of us we'll have a special VIP seating and all those kind of things. And of course, we've got choirs coming. We've got games and stuff for the children, and they're going to have, I think, plays or movies at the Capri.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
It's
new.
going to be a big deal.
This is new and
Yeah,
it's
and
exciting.
I think they've got the lights for the county courthouse is one of the big things that
Oh
they're
yeah, the
wanting to
laser things.
wanna-
Y'all like so
want to
well.
show off
the
this
light
time.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the light show.
Yeah.
That's
But
neat.
we're all working together, and I like that. We're all working together for this Christmas.
Bill,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
I'm biting my tongue.
he's
on the
bridled
lights.
his mouth.
I'm biting my tongue.
How
on the
much were
lights.
those lights, Bill Anderson?
Several hundred
Smoke
thousand.
went out of his ears when you said light.
Several hundred thousand.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I know.
it'll be a fun and it'll be a
Are they going to
Christmas
be
joy.
red,
That's right,
green,
Christmas.
and
That's
all the
Christmas. Yeah.
colors?
I would
Yeah.
be not in the know.
If the children
I'd
can have a
somebody-
great time. Yeah.
Tell me more, Bill.
The main thing. That's
Let
the
it
main-
out, Bill.
David Thomas knows more about it than I do.
What?
The lights at the courthouse, those 200.
Don't get me started.
I wanted to know if there were different colors or
There are all kinds of colors, man.
Okay.
What color do you want?
purple.
We'll dial it up.
Is this like a laser show light system, or is this
Very
more
similar.
Like a
Oh,
Pink Floyd.
It's like
laser.
we're gonna have the courthouse lit up like the White House.
Oh,
And I'm trying
You know,
to get
when
the
Pride
city-
Month comes
City Hall
around,
sign
we'll have the
fixed.
rainbow
It's got-
float.
Certainly not.
Got part of got a
Oh,
part of
it
the
changes.
city.
It
Whatever
changes
color you want it.
Easter.
Do you hear
purple
that,
and
Bo?
yellow.
What's that?
And I'm trying to get the City Hall sign fixed. It's got a piece of it.
Come on, Josh, give us some returns.
Yeah.
I'm a Tad Craig.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's getting a
That's
little.
funny.
I'm for Tad. Let's get out of here.
Oh boy.
So we haven't
We're
got
not
Aiken
getting
yet.
anything yet.
We don't have Aiken. We do have Thomas, of course, and we're missing the other two y'all were talking about.
Yeah, bear with us. Be soon.
WBTS, we've got that.
Which
Yeah.
has got that ain't gonna matter.
Well, yeah.
4 votes.
I
But we
just-
hadn't
No,
got
they'll have a few.
okay.
We hadn't got the assembly.
All right, here we go.
He said D. Let's see, beat him 114 to 70 at Thomas, and 178 to 162 at Southside overall, including early.
Well, that's gonna mess up the number.
Let's see. Hold on. Hold on.
How does
Hold
that
on,
come
hold on,
out?
hold on.
That ain't what we had a minute ago.
Hold on. I'm
Thomas, we just had.
See, we were coming up with 14 votes at Thomas. Now it's 1-4, but that may be the early vote with the
Yeah.
election vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had the total for early. We started with right.
Yeah, we do.
Wasn't that the,
Yeah.
wasn't that the
Yeah.
total early?
But you don't know how to break it down
Yeah.
by
He,
precinct.
yeah,
Right.
he's
Yeah.
I'm gonna get him to retotal that.
Mhm.
Break out the
It's
calculator.
he put another total there.
403.
What's,
That's WBTS probably.
okay. That's 2. Blevins 2, Isaacs 1, McCullough 1. I'm gonna get him to clear up that last statement. If you could clear up at where your totals are,
Because that ain't what we got off that sheet of paper earlier.
But I would say the 114
he said.
number-
203. That's precinct 203. 21 Blevins, 6 Isaacs, 11 D McCullough.
I don't know what 203 is.
I don't either.
I'm sure it's precinct 203, but I'm
Yeah, I
not
know,
sure. the
but that would
location.
be all the precincts right there.
Yeah, he's giving us the I guess the information as quick as possible. I'm on. Hopefully, we can get a total and see if we can call this officially.
Now, I'm assuming that 114 number, Thomas, is right. You had 14 election day, probably 100 go. It's putting it all together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that's
You're
right.
putting
Yeah,
the election day with the early vote.
So what are
Give
our
you the precinct
totals
vote.
right now?
I have no idea after what he just gave. I had a good idea, but I
I
don't
know.
know.
It kind of.
I was at 401, 365, but then after what came out, I don't know.
Yeah. That's what's we're not really sure of right now because he said, that according to him, McCullough
You don't mind me
114
looking over your shoulder.
to
do you?
70 at Thomas, and
And that holds case with early vote of 20 to 14.
what about the south? The south side would be D 178 to Blevins 162.
Well, on that first one, he had
Okay,
362.
total right now, 1 to go, 1 precinct to go. 424 Blevins, 187 Isaacs, 377 McCullough.
Okay.
Thank
Right,
you.
That's about where we
All
were.
right, that's what we had.
Okay,
We got one
Thank you.
one
We got
precinct to
one
go.
left.
1 to go. 1 to go. So our close race, 424 to 377.
Do we have anything on Ward 3?
Nothing
Oh.
on Ward 3 right. Let's see. We've got let's see. Did you at Thomas? Did 0 for Daniel, 1 for Hale, 1 for Noel? Did I report that?
You did.
Yeah, okay. That's the last one I got from there.
Okay.
Trump just got Ohio called for him. He's at
Whoa.
177 to 99. And of course, he got Texas
Yeah.
and Florida called.
Texas, there was some chatter down there that it was kind of touch and go. It's
53.9 to 44.9. Dallas is in San Antonio.
yeah.
I
Because
think the border.
The border's got a lot to do with Texas.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Democrats been working hard in Texas, kind of under the covers down there,
Yeah,
hard.
right.
So
Okay, nothing yet for Ward 3. Nothing new for Ward 3 yet.
Okay. All right.
No more Ward 3.
No more Ward 3. That's right. Or
Right now,
no
we
more.
got Noel 372, Hale 242, Daniel 169 is the last we had.
Okay, and then we're not sure what that.
But we haven't got Aiken yet, have we?
No, we haven't. We
That
haven't.
today?
And we're
Not the election day,
Yeah.
just the early
right.
vote.
Right.
But I don't see the numbers being high enough to affect this much. Based on what
I
we've
don't-
seen everywhere else.
Not
Not on
on
election
daily
day.
votes we're getting everywhere
Not
else.
somebody just revolts against Josh somewhere. And everybody, and then like a whole bunch of people ran there and voted for D. I don't.
Yeah,
It looks like
it's close enough where that could happen,
Yeah.
but not according to the turnout. That
what are we,
had.
50, 60 votes between each other?
About 50.
About 50.
Yeah.
Little plus or minus.
47.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's still a little close. A family could make a difference here.
A big one.
But if we're going off election days, what we're waiting on, I just don't know if there's enough votes here to make that count. 47 might as well be 400
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
because
right.
the turnout's been so
That's
bad.
Right. That's
you know.
right. That's right.
Derry Aiken is the last to come in, and they're still waiting on it right now. So they're.
Well, what are we waiting on Blevins and McCullough's? Who are we waiting on there?
I guess Derry Aiken. Do they?
No.
Do they have
No,
any there?
it's
Or
gotta
is there-
be
First
that,
Assembly. First
First
Assembly of
Assembly.
God.
Yeah.
He said, and maybe that was one of those 203. Maybe
No.
that was 203.
No.
No, it ain't there yet. We got Thomas, we got WPTS, and we got what was the other early voting everywhere.
Yeah, I don't. There's one to go. I would assume it would be that first assembly.
Assembly.
Southside was one too.
Yeah, Southside.
Southside. So we
Yeah.
got First Assembly guys.
That's
yeah.
right. I didn't think Southside was.
Yeah, they have. There's a few in there for
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
So tight race there,
Tight race. I mean, we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a tight race,
and of course Gary Hale's probably his
Curry.
biggest voting block is
Gary
going to
Aiken.
come with Aiken.
Aiken School, yes.
Oh yeah, this is the biggest. Okay,
But he's down 130 votes.
203 was First Assembly. That was First Assembly came in at 21.
Oh, that's it. Well,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Well, he said there's one more. He's waiting on one.
Hmm.
Maybe.
That was the 21, 6, and 11.
Maybe WBTS is the one.
And we announced that too. It was 2-1, 1-2, whatever
How
it
come
was.
I got this chair without a
That's
pad
what
in
you
it?
said.
Yeah, me
403.
too. I'm thinking the same thing.
Look what I got. I got the David Thomas
Hey,
special.
Hey, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, buddy.
Buddy, I always complain. I always get the padded seat around here.
Yeah, there's no spring chicken sitting in these hard seats, is there?
No.
Okay, we got something in from Derry Aiken. 63, J.D. Daniel. I'll start over. J.D. Daniel gets 63. Gary Hale, 112. Betsy Noel, 118.
It's over.
That's it.
Yeah.
Betsy
So,
won.
Congratulations to Betsy Noel.
Yes,
She
that's
wins.
right.
Yes,
Congratulations, Betsy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Congratulations. And Gary, wow, thanks for all the years
Oh,
of
good-
service. He's served
good
for many
fella.
years, been
Yeah.
around, and we love Gary.
One of my favorite council people
Yes,
is Gary
he
Hale
is
of
a
all
great
time. I
man.
love Gary Hale.
Watch it. You got one sitting right
Yeah.
now.
I know, but
Yeah,
I said one of. I didn't say my favorite.
Yeah.
But I'm your
I
favorite
said
mayor.
one of. You're my
Favorite.
favorite. Absolutely.
Okay, and then we got another one at Derry Aiken is Blevins 6, Isaacs 4, McCullough 5. So
That was
That's
Aiken.
what he was waiting on.
Josh Blevins,
Not
is,
Aiken.
That is from Aiken. Blevins 6,
That's what he was waiting on.
Yeah, that was it.
Isaacs 5, D 5. So we've got a new city councilman.
Yeah.
Josh
Blevins,
Congratulations,
Blevins.
Josh.
Congratulations, Josh.
Yeah.
And Ms. Noel.
And Miss Noel too. It's just that we've got 2 new council members in there, and I know that y'all are excited for that, regardless of the outcome. But I think
Really
we
good
got a little
people.
bit of surprise. This is a matter where sometimes out politicking can beat the money in some cases.
Well, I think Josh, when he was out actually trying to speak for his neighborhood about some
Right.
of the,
He made
the high
connections.
density,
Right.
those high density
Yeah.
situations out there that the people didn't want.
Right.
He went to bat for them.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a city council person. He
No.
went to bat for them
Yeah.
and worked.
And I think it says something about some other folks. You people out there that watch Shelbyville now
Yeah.
has got a lot to say about this too.
That's
Right.
right. That's
Just
exactly
saying.
right.
A lot of folks around here don't want to admit it, but a lot of you people watch. We see what the ratings are. We see the views.
Yep. We see the views.
How many people watched tonight, David?
I don't know.
We'll have to look later,
We'll
but
have to
I
look
can
later.
tell you the sports show will run what, David?
Anywhere
Saturday
from
mornings?
5,000 to 8,000.
Every week. Some weeks 10 to 12. We have done as high as 25,000.
Yeah.
One of our coaches shows with Coach
Right.
Dryden did 14,800 just on Facebook
Yeah,
alone.
there's
Wow.
definitely a
Wow.
lot. It's definitely getting out there, and it's not some type of propaganda. It's just being
Well,
asking questions and
Yeah,
being
just
there.
real
And
people.
it's just,
Yeah.
it's nothing. It's nothing hard about it,
here's the thing.
or it's no secret.
I think our goal is to get information out to the public, unfiltered.
Yeah.
Okay. Not run it through some kind of
Marketing firm,
But
marketing
unfortunately,
firm or
Press
or a-
release.
PR firm.
unfortunately, when you
Yeah.
report
It's
it,
just
the
raw.
truth, then
Consultants.
people don't like.
Yeah, when you start dabbling around in the truth, people run from it.
Yeah.
They do.
But the
And-
people that really care,
They want to
They-
know the
they wanna
truth.
know
They
the
deserve
truth.
to know the truth.
And you have a
Yeah.
paper here, honestly, whichever one you're looking at, it's 2 days a week. That's all you got. And it seems to me like most of their pieces,
it's one day a
you
week.
got, one day a week,
One
you
day.
got some press release coming from a politician.
Yeah.
That's what the article is.
Yeah.
There's not any reporting going
Yeah, no,
on.
it's not. It's no.
Well, I think Josh has brought things to another level.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
comes to all the meetings. He knows
Yes.
what's going on.
Yes.
He lets people know.
He does.
And an informed population
Yes.
or citizenship or residents or voters or whatever you want to call them,
Mhm.
if they're informed, they can make better decisions when it's time to vote. And they also can voice their opinions to you
That's right.
to
and
you.
to me, yes.
and to all their council people, their
That's right.
commissioners
That's
or
right.
whatever.
Right?
and there's no
That's right.
special interest. It's just Josh has the
Yes.
special interest of the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's nothing
There's
that
no
he answers
agenda.
to. There's no agenda.
There's no agenda.
And Maryland, let's
That's
go
right.
back to radio back in the heydays of the
Oh,
80s and
I love
90s when we were in radio.
Yes, talk
But
radio.
radio did things. Meet the candidates. Radio had shows.
Yeah.
Radio got the word out.
Yes. Yes.
The only show I know of is kind of a propaganda show in itself. So when I know they even do anymore, we don't meet the candidates. We're not involved in local
Oh
stuff
no,
right.
it's
unless it's canned and cookie cutter.
it props up. Yes,
It's not the radio of Marilyn Ewing and Bill
So-
Anderson back in
so,
the day.
No.
so how
No.
many of the candidates to not won that were backed by PAC money? And
Well,
One and
Betsy,
one.
Betsy,
Yeah, they went 1-1. I would say.
Betsy Warren.
okay,
So let's give Betsy Warren a little credit.
Oh,
Her dad, Jim Warren.
Oh yeah,
Betsy
she's
got out here and
lived
worked.
here.
Uh-huh.
She's lived here.
Jim
all
Warren, her
life.
daddy was well
She-
thought
oh, yeah.
of. It's a
She
wonderful
is.
family.
Yep.
Betsy's a great girl,
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it.
and
I
she
mean,
worked for it.
Yeah, I mean, people, look at what things a different way whenever they're campaigning, but when you're in that seat, it's up to her to perform. And I mean, I think we're all
I'm
hopeful.
gonna say this about Betsy that I've known her for years.
She loves Shelbyville. I think
She is not going to be a yes vote for folks. I'm just telling you, I've known her for too long.
that's
Yeah, that's
what
good.
she wants. That's good.
Yeah.
Betsy's
That's
got her
what we're
own mind.
What we're looking for.
That's right.
Somebody to represent the folks.
What I wish would happen, whether it be Chevrolet now or whether it be city government or county government, or just somehow communicate with our citizens regularly, weekly, when something happens. Just let us know. You
even
know
if
what I'm
something
saying?
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And that's
Just
why
kinda
we
what's
have our
going on.
council
Yeah.
meetings, live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we have
That
our study
helps.
sessions
Yeah.
live, so people can
Right.
and
They
we're
can
working
see
on
it.
even getting that better quality.
that's
And,
Yeah,
and what
that's right.
Josh though, the average person sitting down there
That's
looking
right.
at that, they don't know what's going
That's
on.
right.
But Josh,
He breaks it down.
he's a smart
He
guy.
He goes
every-
to every meeting.
He goes every
He's
planning
there.
commission.
I call
Every
him
one of them.
the investigator.
Yeah.
He should be an investigator.
Oh yeah, he does.
He is
Great
very good.
research.
But
Yeah.
that's
I
why
have to
that
say
show that we didn't mention, just to mention the sports show, let's talk about the weekend wrap-up show and the views it gets, 17, 18, 20,000
Yeah.
views.
Yeah.
It's the only avenue for a lot of folks to know what's
That's
going
exactly
on.
right.
It
And,
is.
That's
and
it's all you got.
It is.
that's look, he put in the work, and now he's getting the fruition for it.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a great council.
Great addition.
Yeah.
I do too.
For the
Absolutely.
city of Shelbyville to be an asset.
David Thomas needs to give him a raise.
Yeah, I think so. A zero needs to go up. to
You know,
at
it's
least 5.
funny. It's a little funny you mentioned that. Nobody wants to sponsor somebody that dabbles in the truth.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
We've never been
Yeah,
paid here.
that's-
I've
that's
never
true.
received the
It's
When
first
you
difficult
start
when you do
talking,
that.
when you start talking the truth, and just getting point blank, rubber hit the road.
Right.
Businesses run from it
Oh yeah.
because
But-
it's political.
But who
Yeah.
said at this table tonight the fact that if you own a business,
Me.
it's this guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's this guy.
They're not
that
gonna
said
come
that.
out.
They're not going to do that
Yeah.
because you don't want to lose business because
Yeah.
you've got people over here,
Right,
and
right.
you
But
know.
see,
well,
here
but-
that shows our polarization, to where we can disagree on stuff
Mhm.
and still live together
That's
and have
right.
fun together.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
get
buy
along.
from somebody.
Absolutely.
It don't
Yeah.
have to be one of those things. Well, I'm not doing business with him because he don't agree with
Right.
that.
Right.
That's
But
not the
when
way.
you look at, and you did this with me as well with the NFLPA when we did the interviews.
Yeah.
The radio station, I'm trying to the ones in Tullahoma, 250, 300. That's all they've got at one time.
Mhm.
Locally, it's under 50. And
Yeah.
the NFLPA knows that number.
Yeah.
You've got a paper that puts out 800-900 papers.
Yeah.
We're getting 10, 15, 12,000 views a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
That's if I'm a business owner, I want my word out to 15,000 people,
Sure.
not 200.
But they run. And
Yeah.
so
Well, some of them do, some of them. We got some great
well,
sponsors
we
too.
have not pursued that.
Like we
Well,
probably
yeah,
should
yeah,
have.
so welcome.
But sports certainly isn't politics.
No.
And if you can get that
That's
kind
a
of
great
views,
thing to have, no doubt about it.
No,
Just
yeah,
get the
that's-
information.
that's a good
Guys,
service.
and we want to take, I guess, suggestions
Mhm.
or requests from the public out there. What do you want to hear? You know,
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
I mean, we have avoided chasing ambulances and fire trucks because that's tragedy in a family's life.
Right.
We just don't
Yeah.
like to report that.
That's right.
But when it affects the community, we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
You know,
Whether
there's
it's
a
water
rare-
issues,
Yeah.
high density housing
Right.
that shouldn't be, or whatever.
Well,
These are
if
the
there's a
issues.
fire at Walmart,
Yeah.
hey, y'all
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
away from Walmart. I mean,
Right.
Josh is all over
Right.
that.
Or flooding
We've-
or tornado.
We've got our scanner going
Yeah.
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to all the ambulances and all that,
That's
you can
right.
listen there and hear it going.
Yeah.
But
a
we're
lot
not
of folks
gonna
love
talk-
that one, Dave, when you turn that sucker on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that struck a nerve with some folks.
Yeah, well, it is
But hey,
what
thanks
it
to
is.
David Thomas. That way you can listen to it and have to go buy the big fancy scanner.
That's
Again, a
right.
service being
That's
provided.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, David,
I think
thank
we
you.
got
for
a
having
big
us.
one.
David Thomas.
Well, we have a special guest that's coming to sit down at the table.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, I'm going to make room for him.
Oh.
I am
You
too.
would
I'm
like
getting
to.
out of the way.
Yeah, we're going to get out of the way.
I'm out of the way.
Congratulations, Josh.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We have with us Josh Blevins,
Yes,
our
we do.
new
Sit here,
Ward
Josh.
I'll
5
stick around
commissioner.
the other side.
Bill,
Congratulations, Josh.
thank you, Bill.
See you, bud.
You got
Yeah. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, you guys are.
Congratulations, Josh.
Am I finished?
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Well, let me just say
Awesome
something to
victory.
Josh. And then I
Sure.
I do have to leave, but this guy here, you're no stranger. You're no stranger to the camera. You're no stranger to the community. You have sat with us and bared through our meetings, our government meetings, not only ours but county and I mean smaller committee
Study
meetings like,
sessions.
like the airport and things, and a person that has done that much research, legwork, homework. I've never seen that. I've never seen that from a candidate.
Well, thanks. Yeah.
And it, I think, paid off. But
Yeah.
I think that you naturally have a niche. You naturally have a heart and a concern
Yes.
for the citizens.
Yeah.
Because who does? I want to go after 15 minutes of the study session sometimes. And, you know,
It's not always that exciting.
and,
It's
you
not.
know, and
Yeah.
I can see your dedication and true heart, and we appreciate that. And I think the community did a great
I think the
service.
community's starting to recognize.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
obviously
that's
they
great.
recognize
That's
that.
my-
And I want
that
to
was my
applaud you
point.
too, Josh. I know how hard you've worked. You look worn out, and I know
It's been a
exactly.
long
I know
campaign.
exactly how that feels when you've
Yeah.
worked and went door to door and done all the work and everything
All
that
right, I'm
Marilyn
fixing to
says.
put you
I
on,
agree
okay?
with 100%.
All right.
We congratulate you. We're looking
Yes.
forward to working with you
Yes.
and get you some
No,
ribs.
that won't. They won't
I will.
do it.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a
All
long
right,
campaign, but
all
I
right,
just,
all right.
I want to thank everybody that did, vote for me. And those numbers that I tried to feed you guys, the point I was trying to make is it was my neighbors that actually stepped
Right,
up. It was
right.
that 203,
Yeah.
which is Union Station. It was
Yeah.
the gap in that particular precinct that made all the
That's
difference
it.
in the
Well,
world.
we have
It
a
was the
special
people
call
that
in
live-
for you, John.
Oh.
Uh-oh, special caller.
All right, our caller is now on.
Hello, caller.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hey, Josh Blevins.
Eric
This
Maddox.
is,
I see that.
yes, sir. Eric Maddox here. I just wanted to call and congratulate you, my friend. Wow. I'm
Thank
just
you.
so proud that you're going to serve the Shelbyville city, and I couldn't be more proud. You've done so much even before this night. You were instrumental in helping, do a lot of work behind the scenes that nobody
Amen.
really is aware of. You dug in your heels. You went to all these meetings. You were able to, I'm just so proud, Josh. I know that Shelbyville is going to be an even better place, right? With you serving along with those folks there in the room with Miss Ewing and the mayor. Wow, it's just I couldn't be prouder, Josh. Personally, I'll go ahead and say this on the air. My friend, I've known you since we were 14 years old, and
We have.
and it's been a blessing to say that I've known you most of all my life, and looking forward to working with you there in the city, and just really excited. And the Shelbyville Now, David, y'all are doing an amazing job of keeping folks informed and giving out news that matters. And wow, just what a great night. Now, if we could just get Trump to win tonight, everything would be just fine.
It'd be a good evening. Well, I just want to say I've said in a couple interviews, but I mean, part of the reason I'm here tonight is because of Eric Maddox. I mean, you won your race there a couple years ago, and you dragged me along to a couple meetings. And next thing you know, I'm going to all of them. And it was your leadership, and you blazed the trail for me there first. And I appreciate everything you've been to me as well. So.
Well, thank you, Josh.
But once that trail
and,
got blazing, buddy, he
appreciate
just
it.
took off.
It's great to see y'all, Bo and Mayor.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Sherry,
Thank you, Eric.
David. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Eric.
Good
All
stuff,
right,
Eric.
y'all
Thank
have
you.
a wonderful night.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thanks.
You too.
All right, Josh. When does this start?
I know.
When you get
When
sworn
does it
in?
start?
When we
December.
start?
It's been started.
December?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you punch the clock, you don't ever punch out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I think the campaign felt like the long part, but I think that was the easy part. I think
Yeah.
now the going forward
Yeah.
the next 4 years. I mean, we've
Yeah.
got there's a lot of big things on our plate in the city. I mean, the development, all the things that are coming into town. There's going to be a lot of important issues. Like I have been, I'll continue to be here at Shelbyville now. We'll be talking about
Well, I
it
was
every
afraid you
weekend.
was.
I'm not. I'm not bailing. I'm not.
I
going
thought you might
anywhere.
bail on me, and I'd be left sitting here.
I'm not
Yeah.
bailing.
Square
So,
one again.
and we'll as much information as we can get out there. That's been a whole point of my whole campaign was transparency and getting information out to the people. The people
Yes.
need to know what's going
Yes.
on.
Very good.
There shouldn't be any of this quiet behind the scenes. You know, we don't need.
Backdoor meetings. or-
No, we don't need any of that. Everything should be in
Yeah.
public. Everything should be out in the open.
Oh, yes.
And I think that'll be some of the first things that I'm looking to do. I think I even saw something on the study session agenda about maybe making some of the packets more available.
Available,
that
yeah.
are- yeah, that are
That's
available.
every step you can take toward transparency.
That's
I
exactly
think,
right.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
want that to
Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah. The more information, the better. Because, and I want to hear from my constituents. I put my personal email, my cell phone out there to everybody that I met, and I'm going to continue to do that. And I can't answer every single call, but I will text you back. I will
Yes.
email you
Well,
back.
I can promise you this: if you're watching tonight, and if you voted for one of the other candidates in Josh's district, he's going to represent you just as much as he does those that
Absolutely.
voted for him and those that
Yes.
didn't vote.
Absolutely.
I promise you.
Amen.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yes,
The whole
absolutely.
city. That's
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Josh, it's time to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
It is.
And I
Time to
think
go take a
everybody
nap.
around here wants to get home so
Yes,
they can get the
that's-
popcorn out and watch the show.
Yeah, watch the big election.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
But
we're ready for the big one.
Congratulations, Josh.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
I want
for
to thank
you.
everybody for watching. I want to thank all of our guests today, Mayor.
Thank you for
Thank you,
inviting me
Bo.
tonight. I appreciate
Yes,
that.
sir.
Yes, sir.
And of course, Josh coming in here and you
Yeah.
being
Sneaking
our
in
roving
last minute.
reporter.
Our special
Yeah.
guest and our roving
Yeah,
reporter.
and Ms. Marilyn, thank you for sitting
Thank
down.
you
You've
for
been
having
around the
me.
block doing this, so it's been a
Yes.
pleasure sitting across from you.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you.
And we'll be back again real soon. This weekend, Josh, we'll have
We'll be
the
back
news
Saturday
that
morning.
matters.
All
And we
right.
might talk about the election.
We might talk about the election on Saturday. I'm just
Sure.
guessing. We
Might
might
be an
talk
important
about
topic.
it. So, yeah.
Thanks for everybody for watching. And again, we thank our sponsors, Shelbyville Animal Hospital and the Winter Circle right here